BionDnD. Y'all did some shit. Let's get underway.
Hell yeah.
And by shit, I mean you found some Dargans, and you climbed their mountain, and you got into their fortress, and you said, "Hey, Dargans," and there were no Dargans, but there were some Darganborn, and the Darganborn came up to you, and they were like, "We aren't Dargans, but we speak for Dargans, and y'all shouldn't go up there because there's a guy up there already." Oh, you know him? Oh, okay, maybe you guys should go up there.
I
Hello,
got
I am also
pissed.
Darganborn. May I talk to Dargans?
Not yet. Why are you pissed?
I drank a lot last week.
Oh, true.
Guyana's fucking pissed.
I wasn't sure if it was Christine or Kayana talking.
That was Christine talking. Kayana got moderately upset,
Yeah.
but not pissed.
Yeah.
She got, hey!
Yeah.
All right.
Don't fucking at me with my memory loss, you dick.
What's memory loss? What's memory? Who are you?
Why are we here?
Wait.
Probably to kill some Dargans, right? That's totally what you
Oh,
guys are
yeah.
trying to do.
Yes, we are obviously going to silo all of the Dargans.
In a group of 24 Dargans, I think you should definitely try and kill at least one. That
Okay.
certainly won't start an all-out assault on you all.
You got it.
Cool. All right. So we left off with the group of you at the bottom of a staircase that wrapped around the mountaintop, winding its way up to the summit. The summit is where you believe you will be hopefully meeting Geralt as he is attempting to persuade the dragons to take some action. So, let's see here. Is there anything? I think you all had pretty much wrapped up your business on the ground, right? You were pretty much ready to ascend this staircase.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
I
So,
don't really remember the last half hour of the session very much.
somehow, I'm
Honey.
not surprised.
Oh.
I got the gist of it, but I'm lacking in details.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's fine.
I mean, it's pretty much what I said, you know.
Yeah.
You guys you talked to some Dragonborn, you convinced them that it was a good idea for you to go and help Gerald's argument, and so they were like, well, you better hurry, he's got a pretty good head start on you. And so you went to the bottom of this staircase that leads up into the summit of the mountains. This is above Dragonsummit Peak. Kind of like, one peak here, and there's a little bit of like a walkway where the fortress is sort of dominating the landscape, and then a little bit further on, you get into this like sort of secondary rise that gets to another peak. And that latter part is where you are now. So, at the bottom of the staircase, Jeff, you're very much in your element. You know, not only is it nice and cold and snowy, but it's high up in the mountains, and this just like it feels like home for you. Even though you're from the countryside and you grew up on a farm, there's just something about this that feels very, very natural. That silver dragon somewhere far back in your blood has just start to kind of flex its muscles and exercise its deep breathing in this crisp, cold, thin, mountainous air. It's really quite rejuvenating for you. Everyone else is fucking cold, and it's getting
I
hard to
hate it.
breathe.
I hate it.
Yeah. So, as you are setting out on this blustery path, I would like everyone to make a survival check as a group.
Oh no.
Oh, actually, I have a good modifier. 10!
The heck did you roll?
5!
Okay, I got a
19.
21.
Oh no.
All right.
Oh
so
no.
No.
You
Ew.
got a 10, a 21. What did you get,
19.
Wartsock? 19. And Ilya?
3.
All right,
I rolled
so
a 2 and I have a +1 modifier.
At least it wasn't a natural one.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I would have died.
All right, that's fine actually.
I'm from the coast.
With two of
Hey.
you really kind of trailblazing, Wartok, you're kind of like you hate it here, but like that deep rage just makes you be like, I am gonna conquer this landscape. I am gonna fucking traverse this like no water ganassi has ever traversed this terrain before, and just out
Being
of pure
so
spite,
cautious.
out of pure
Pure
spite
fear.
and fear,
Yes.
you manage to just pick your way along expertly. And Jeff and Wartok, you both kind of help Ilya along as she stumbles here and there, not used to this snowy mountain climb. Kayana, you make your way decently. You know, you're
I'm
not.
fine.
Yeah, every now and then, like you kind of almost lose your balance and you have to be caught, but nothing like serious. You know, nothing horrible. You're all right. It is a long way, and you are traveling up what seems like thousands of stairs as you're ascending
Cardio.
slowly. And you kind of get the sense that the slow ascent is probably to help people acclimate as they go up the mountainside. Although it's relatively rare that humanoids would travel this way, it is nonetheless, they're the only ones who'd use the stairs, so they were built with humanoids in mind. Um, and you make your way for several hours in this way, just continuing to kind of bow your heads against the driving winds and snow and push your way forward, inching upward to the closer and closer to the summit of the mountain through this wintry landscape. And say around, let's see, you all did not start at the very beginning of the day, I think. Did you?
Mm.
I
'cause
briefly
we had
just
been
recalled
traveling.
something of like, oh, we should stay the night and start out early in the morning, but I think that was when you were leaving the monastery.
I think
Yes.
that was, yeah.
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 All right. So actually, yeah, a few hours in, you do reach nightfall, and you find that you either have to push forward and keep going in the dark if you feel confident. Excuse me. Wow, I've been really burpy today. Hold on.
Rip Jeff, who doesn't have dark vision.
Guys, where is the light?
It's actually a pretty well lit night,
Go towards it.
so it's not horribly dark as you're
There are
kind
too
of.
many lights for talk. I cannot pick one to go towards.
Strong.
You're actually above cloud level now, and so you really have like this bright, open, starlit sky, and probably about a waxing crescent or a waxing gibbous moon in the
It
sky.
must be fucking freezing if we're above cloud level.
It's mountains. The clouds cling.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't know what y'all are talking about. It feels good up here.
Yeah, you can absolutely get clouds kind of hanging on the summits of mountains, just a few thousand feet up.
Deduct 5 points from my HP because Ilya punched me, and she actually has a strength stat, unlike the rest of you.
I have a strength stat. Negative is a number.
It is a number. This is true.
All right, yeah, you're right.
I
More
slap Jeff and he heals 2 HP.
Thanks.
I don't actually do this.
Now my health.
Yeah, so night falls. What would you all like to do? Do you want to push on into the evening and try and make up for lost time, or do you want to set out for camp and keep a watch?
We shouldn't try to exhaust yourselves, knowing what we're going to have to be dealing with here soon.
Yeah, we also don't know what else could be lurking up here. I think setting camp is a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so can I get an order of watches?
I'll go
I'd like
first.
to take first
Well, I got
guess
this one
with
for
Wartalk.
$8 at Walmart,
Nice,
and
nice.
sorry.
Well, I guess Wartalk is going to take all of the watches because he doesn't need to sleep.
Right, I'm just, if people are staying up with him to kind of...
I'll help him with the first watch.
to mitigate his
Okay.
shitty wisdom score.
I'll take third.
Wait,
I'll take
Yeah.
a second.
my what now?
I guess it's not shitty. No.
He
your
has
wisdom score's
15
fine.
wisdom.
Plus
That's
2?
not bad.
Yeah. You're just not trained in
It's sort
perception.
of wise.
Yeah.
It's a starter wisdom stat.
It's actually pretty decent. I was wrong. That's totally fine.
I should be trained in perception, to be honest, but
Yeah.
there were other
Actually,
things
I
liked
think
much
it's just that you tend to roll poorly on on these checks, specifically perception during your watches. I feel like
Yeah,
you've
I'm
had
okay
like a
with it.
disproportionately low number or low average roll for these.
more. Yeah, they're pretty bad normally.
Yeah, okay, so Kyanna's third. Jeff, you said you would take first?
Yep.
Alright, Ilya, do you want to take second, or do you want to...
No, I'll
You
take
can-
second.
You can technically leave one open, like you have somebody on all of them. Cool. Alright, so Wartalk and Jeff, let me get a perception check from both of you.
14.
There you go.
15.
Oh,
All right. See, those were good. Those were fine. Let me actually see here. Ooh, okay.
Bring those dragonborn. I will yeet them off mountain.
They
Wait.
were your friends.
Oh, right.
It's the
Yeah.
regular
They were
dragons
trying
running
to
you off
help
the
you.
mountain.
Right, yeah, sorry. Force of habit.
Speaking of regular dragons,
Oh.
you do relatively like early on in your watch, maybe like 10 p.m. You notice the beating of wings, and it seems somewhat close. And you start to look around, and you see a dragon. It looks probably chromatic, but it's hard to tell in the kind of washed out light. As it's kind of flying up the side of the mountain, it does not seem to pay you any mind as it is flying past. Would you like to do anything as it passes you?
Nope.
Jeff.
I'm just gonna stay quiet.
What's up, bitch?
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
You want to take bets on if it's going to eat us?
No. Let's just stay quiet and
Why
don't
not?
attract its ire so we don't get eaten.
Well, what do you think will happen if we attract its ire?
We'll get eaten.
Yeah, like, oh,
It seems reasonable.
yeah. Then we could bet on it. He's thinking about it.
No. I don't think we should do that.
All right.
Boo.
Okay, so you decide not to do anything as the dragon passes you by, and you see this just large, but not enormous, dark shape kind of pass by you in the night, soaring with wings outstretched, just kind of gliding upward on a current of wind. As it soars over you, you can kind of get a glimpse of its scales as it passes by a little bit of a, I don't want to say a brighter patch, but like as it banks in a turn, you can kind of catch the moonlight glinting off of it. You can see that it is in fact a young red dragon.
Okay, we should extra not attract its attention.
Shh, Jeff. Shh. Quiet.
All right.
Right.
Other than that, the no snow is falling because you're above the clouds, but you are getting, the kind of like the area is still covered in snow from previous days when clouds were further overhead, and the wind is still quite blustery up here. But apart from the elements and that single sighting of a dragon, your watch goes uneventfully. Wartalk and Ilya, can I get a roll from you two?
There it is. Oh, wait, no. That was upside down.
Here's a different dice.
11.
13.
Okay, cool. Wow.
12.
Okay. Couple of latecomers.
He's rolling
All right. You actually find a pair of dragons that are flying. They're actually, I shouldn't say latecomers. These ones don't seem to be going up the mountain. They actually are making a round. and it seems to be a pair of silver dragons. As they get kind of close to you, it seems like maybe male and female, possibly mates. But they seem to kind of just be keeping a watch around the sides of the mountain.
Do they notice us?
If they do, they make no sign or show of it.
Okay. This is very weird, right? Like, normally this would be a terrifying thing.
Are you not terrified? I'm terrified.
I guess yes. But also,
Yeah,
like, sort
yeah.
of no.
Oh.
As you're
guess I'm
having
really
this
scared of
conversation, both of the silver dragons open their maws and let out just an ear-splitting roar. It doesn't seem to be in anger, just a vocalization.
Do
that-
we fucking wake up?
Oh yeah, you're like, oh
Okay.
fuck, what?
You know, I take it back. Take that back.
Yeah.
This is still as unsettling as finding just a random one out somewhere.
I don't know. I'm kind of okay with it. I think they're about to get it on, so like I don't think they're gonna care about us.
Oh,
I really hope they go somewhere else to do that.
I really hope they didn't hear you say that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, no, that could be bad. I'm scared again. Dang it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I don't think that
This
helped.
was a journey.
Yes, it is. All right. You hear the sounds of dragon mating in the. No, not really.
Oh no!
Oh,
No. They
We
take
jinxed ourselves.
their couple of rounds. You actually see them pass by like 2 or 3 times, as they seem to be just circling the mountaintop in search of anything out of place. And other than that, your watch goes smoothly. Third watch, Wartok and Kayana.
Using a different die. Dirty 20.
11.
Bless you.
thank you.
Well,
I
one
have
of
plus 9 to perception. I rolled a 2.
you. Wow. So good.
I am out of it. Oh man, you know, I kind of have a headache. I'm
Yeah,
not
kinda-
focusing very well.
Yeah, the dragon's screeching kind of like, fuck.
That's what. Oh yeah, I'm sure that
And you
didn't
just
help.
kind of like rub your temples for like the first hour of the watch, and then the second hour you're kind of like, I hope none of those come by, and you're kind of just like eyes on the sky, not really paying attention to anything else. Wartok,
That's me.
you do notice something else.
Yay.
Very, very faintly, almost invisible, you catch for just a moment. Long enough that you're sure you didn't imagine it, but briefly enough that you think it couldn't have been, a mistake or a natural phenomenon. Like it looked like it was like covered. You see a light. It almost looks like a flame. You see a brief like flicker in its intensity, even from the distance you're at from it. But it is so quickly either doused or hidden from view that you can't get a really good bead on what it might have been.
How far away?
Quite far. I would venture to say maybe 300, maybe 350 yards.
That's a ways.
Far enough
Yeah.
that it looked like it was probably on another peak. So like this staircase kind of winds between a couple of different tall upward jutting rock structures that kind of form sort of a triplicate peak that comes together at the summit. It looks like that light was on one of the other two.
Okay. Okay. Notably higher, or
A little bit higher.
okay. Do you see? Did you see that?
See what? Huh?
Here's some water.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. There was a light.
I like to think that you just like did shape water on like a handful of snow and just like handed it to her.
You know what? Yes.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Yeah. Oh, there was like a light on the mountain, and then there
Oh,
wasn't, but it was there. I swear.
I
Wait,
didn't
no,
see
did I
any-
take stuff? No, I'm sober. Oh God, I'm sober. Hold on.
Don't worry, I believe
All right,
you.
I'm sure of it. Okay.
I just didn't see it. Admittedly, I'm not paying very close attention right now.
That's fair.
I'm kind of preoccupied with something else.
Is it the like dragons?
Kind of. This is harking back to what Nick and I had a brief conversation about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever noticed that all of the people that we meet that like seem to have some sort of important piece in like helping us save the world? Have you ever noticed how they always talk like in a particular way? Like they're saying words, but the words don't actually mean anything.
Oh, talking out their butts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
So I think. I don't know. Yes. No. Yeah. I mean, that's how prophecies work. You can ask Jeff. He was the chosen one. That was like kind of vague too.
We all know that's BS though, right?
Yeah, but they based it on something. They based it on the fact that all those prophecies and everything, they're vague.
And that's what makes them misleading.
I don't know why. I'll ask my buddy next time I talk to him. Maybe he'll.
Sure. I just feels like, if we really are on this quest to save the world,
Yeah.
parsing out like flowery language for the kernels of truth, not especially helpful in the grand scheme.
I mean, it might come down to they know as little as we do.
It might. That's what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm so bothered about right now.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be really bad, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, would it be worse than them not helping?
Is there a help desk around here?
Did I submit a service desk ticket?
I don't know. If it's
Help desk machine broke.
Ah, shit. Understandable. Have a nice day.
I mean, if they're just bluffing, is that really helping?
Well, I mean, they
Or
might
are they
still
just
be.
putting on a
What?
Oof, I might have to
Guilt?
ask you guys to replay those last couple of lines because my internet fucked for a second.
Big oof.
Oof. Just like those dragons. I mean,
Does anybody
Yes,
just
you
have
young
an
lady.
This
easy access to
Dargan
a soundbite
fucks.
of turtles mating? Quick loop that, because that's what I imagine dragons sound like.
Yeah, probably.
you know what? I'm just not.
Anyways, the internet better now.
Yeah. So the last couple of lines from kind of you were saying something about if they're. It was after
Bluffing.
the bluffing line.
Oh, I mean, is it really helping if they're bluffing, or are they just putting on a show? Like showing off, like, oh, I'm this greater power.
Yeah, I don't know. I would hope not. But yeah, I don't know why they would either way, one way or another.
It's frustrating that we can't get any straight answers to figure out what we're really supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Why are there so many mountain goats here? Sorry.
They're probably pretty good dragon food, and I bet they're
Um,
Man, I'm just saying it would be a welcome reprieve from venison at this point.
Yeah.
can we eat you?
Wait, no.
Go away now.
Ooh,
Yeah.
totally random out of character question. If a man's dog dies and he decides to eat the corpse, has he done something wrong?
No.
No one has to
I
witness this. The man lives alone, has no family, etc.
Only if he offers the same courtesy to his dog if he dies first.
Only he can
Oh, yeah.
answer that question. That's not my
Yes.
decision to make for him.
Yeah, I was
You know,
gonna say
I
it
like
depends
Ethan's
on.
answer.
So I actually also like Ethan's answer, but the
Yeah.
question is assuming your own moral framework. Like, put yourself
Well-
in the man's shoes.
If it were okay, if it's me and my moral framework, I know this philosophical line of reasoning or questioning. I know this exact thing. Personally, I would not because I have the emotional attachment.
Mhm.
Yep.
But it's not really my call to pass that like judgment on somebody else.
Sure.
I might personally find it distasteful because I know I wouldn't do it, but like
Yeah,
I would
totally
say
fair answer.
weird, off-putting. I definitely wouldn't do it, but I would not call it wrong or immoral.
Yeah, that
I would
tends to be how
just stick
most
with-
folks, at least most Western folks, answer. So, cool.
Yeah.
Good to know. Anyway, continue.
This-
Totally random aside. Sorry.
Is it 'cause I said-
philosophy corner with Matt bionD.
Da-na-na-na. Yeah, no, I don't know. I think it really comes down to do they know what they're talking about or not? And I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like the answer is no. I feel like the answer is they don't know what they're talking about, and they're just doing their best with their vast but still limited resources, and they're probably just as scared as we are, if not more. They probably haven't had to deal with anything like this before. We have mortality and, like, rabid mountain goats. They don't really have to deal with world-ending monstrosities that often. So
Honestly,
probably-
that's my
Yeah.
fear too. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I've been thinking, and it is off-putting.
yeah, I mean, it's not a great scenario. I'm not gonna lie to you, but
Yeah,
it's probably fine. Like, we're here. We're gonna help them. It's okay.
certainly do our best.
Yeah. You missed 2 dragons mating earlier. Wait, no. Is that
Wait,
this-
what?
What? Nothing.
You want to play some poker?
Yeah. Oh, we haven't played a game in a while.
Shit, you're right.
All right. What are you teaching her, Wartalk? Or what are you playing?
I forget what we've taught
She's
already.
really good at Go Fish. She's like an
Um,
expert con at Go Fish.
Yeah.
let's see. Other. I can count cards and play blackjack at a skillful level.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Have the
What?
note about Go Fish in there?
I do,
Okay,
yes,
good,
but you
good.
already explained it.
Okay, just making sure. It's not one you want to overlook, man. That Go Fish skill will come in handy.
All right. I'm trying. What would 7-card stud be called in this world?
It wouldn't be called 7 cards. Stud.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think. Seven-card kobold.
I was gonna just say 7 card rivet. We'll just go with that.
Okay. Okay.
7-card Witcher.
It's called Gwent.
Fancy around.
Oh no.
No. No. We'll save Gwent for another time. It's gonna take a while. We're gonna have to really get into it. It's gonna
It's a
take
lot of
some.
cards to collect, and you know
It's
every
so-
NPC only has a few.
Yeah, no, it's really.
Do I need to
it's really
like
awesome.
buff up
do you
one of
mean
my skill
caravan?
levels to 99, or
Yeah, if you could get level 99 spellcasting, that'd be great.
okay, cool.
Okay, so it's called 7-card Rivet,
Mhm.
and really the key is just you're gonna have to get better with counting cards and knowing when you have a good hand versus
Okay.
what the other person's gonna have.
Okay, so it's
Uh,
math more or less.
Yeah, no, it's really just math. It's just math.
Okay.
Well,
okay,
while also
okay.
screwing with people. Yeah.
All right, yeah, statistics is far enough along that it's advanced enough that you can really like get into that shit. The world
If
has
not, I
enough
would just use my
combinatorics.
I
figured
really
out
like
to-
how you roll on the spot for like scientific advancement.
Yeah.
You know, there are some things that I definitely like just know because it's how the world would work, and there's other things that I'm like, it doesn't break the framework, so let's find out.
It's funny. I appreciate it.
So yeah, I'll go through and I'll work on a 7-card stud.
7-card Rivet it is.
Sorry, Rivet. Yeah, my bad.
I got you. It's all good. Okay, so go ahead and both of you roll a d20.
Just rolled off.
17.
Just flat d20.
Yep.
Oh, 15.
Okay. So Wartalk, you're a little bit like it's been a while since you played this because you haven't been keeping up with your games as much since you've been traveling, and Kayana and you have not played this one before. So it takes you like you're a little bit rusty. You're still fine. You're good at it, and you're a good teacher. But like a 15 out of 20 good teacher.
Hey, that's a passing grade.
Yeah, it is. Kayana, you
Especially
pick
with
up
it.
what he's saying with pretty damn good proficiency. Like, yeah, like 90% of what he puts down you can pick up and figure out. So we'll say that you have a, I don't know, I'll figure out some mechanical bonus for it, but you have a slight proficiency at 7-card Rivet.
Okay.
We'll say
Yeah.
half proficiency. That's actually a mechanic that exists.
Here we go.
Okay.
We've really got to go clean up stuff at some.
Alrighty. So as you all are playing your game, the sun begins to rise, and bright and early, since you are in the climb you're in, Jeff and Ilya immediately like you wake up with the sun. There's no staying asleep once the sun has risen because it's like right there over the horizon. Wow, it's bright. So you wake up very early in the morning and prepare to get on the road again. We're going to continue using that group survival check from before, though. So,
So real quick, I searched for the Lion King sunrise as a gift, but I got this beauty instead, and I'm so happy
oh
that
lord,
I love that
I'm
one
so happy
much.
about this one.
Oh,
That's from the live action Lion King.
CGI
They really
is
outdid
about as good.
themselves.
Oh, now it's my turn to ask a quick question.
Okay.
Was Mufasa important to the story of the Lion King?
Wait. Oh, that's the one that died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Didn't he like trigger the small one to like go and be king or something?
Yeah, there are things that Simba would not have done that are critical to the story had Mufasa not died.
This is a long-standing fight in my circle of friends.
Also, there would have been no other way for Scar to ascend the throne.
But he wouldn't have been in the way.
Oh, you
I
mean
don't-
like if Mufasa hadn't existed from the start?
Yeah. Was
Uh,
Mufasa important to the Lion King?
Then yes, because had Scar ruled for longer, it is likely that he would have had either more of an iron fist or weakened the tribe enough that Simba couldn't have done anything to rouse them.
Damn, you're really going all in on this, huh?
I don't fuck around, man.
I was gonna say, have you met Matt?
Shit, okay, fuck.
I've
I
seen
build
Lion King
worlds.
like
Do you
once.
think I don't consider fantastical fictional characters to be just as important as any others?
You think I don't think furry Hamlet is important?
Because I do. I do think furry Hamlet is important.
No, I had a thought I can't unthink.
Yep.
Do it.
What's that,
Get into
Nick?
the universe.
I don't want to say it.
Do
No,
it.
man,
Type
we're
it.
live. You have to.
You gotta.
Them's the rules.
Ah,
Amazing. Alright, I'll say it. Because whoever might listen to this shit needs to hear that.
Oh,
no.
To yiff or not to yiff? That is the question. Alright, we're
I'm
done now.
sorry, world.
Good night.
Idiotic.
This has been BionDnD. We'll now be signing off forever.
Please.
Forever?
Ah.
Okay.
Okay. So the sun rises. You eat breakfast. I'm not letting you do anything else because of this shit. You go. You just keep
Wait,
going up
hang
the
on.
stairs. No.
No, please. This is really good. Jeff wants to share a dream that he had with the group.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
A dream, you say?
You could definitely
Yeah.
do this while you're walking, not before.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. We'll do that while we're walking. I had a dream that Warthog and Kayana were really complaining that all the people we talked to gave them such cryptic messages about what to do. And they were just like, oh man, I wish someone would just be straight with us. And then one day, like a magic wizard appeared to us and handed Kayana this book. And suddenly everything became clear.
What the fuck have you been doing?
That's amazing.
Oh, Nick, you're not happy.
Alright, wait. It's kind of blurry. I can't read why it's rated M. What is it?
Hang on. I'll post this. Here's the
Intense violence, blood, and strong language.
Yeah, here, you can blow it up yourself.
You forgot about sexual themes, though.
Well,
And
that
drug
wasn't a,
use. And drug use.
I did forget drug use.
Well, I mean, in the list of.
He's so mad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Nick. I needed a picture to put here, so it was just white space, and this is the first thing I found.
Nick, if it
No,
helps.
stop! It's cute.
If it helps.
He doesn't like.
We're not streaming video, so nobody can see it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm
all
so
sorry.
just us.
picture of you next time we hang out, Ethan.
I'm sorry.
I'm sure I could
Taking
find some
so
from our
many
Brown
pictures.
College days.
No.
You have my number. You can send me some.
What?
He apparently has Ethan's number too.
Yes, I do. All right.
I'm
So,
sorry, Nick. I'll find a
blackmail
different
aside,
picture. Okay.
y'all do continue up the mountain path once again as the sun rises. Early in the morning, you begin to kind of hear what at first you think is a thunderstorm coming on. It sounds like rolling thunder echoing throughout the skies, but you look about you, and while the clouds below you have dissipated and you see some light, wispy cirrus clouds high up above, certainly no storm clouds around you or on the horizon anywhere visible. And at this altitude, you can probably see for, I'd guess, close to 100 miles if you were just looking down at, like, sea level. So you can see for a pretty far distance, and you don't see any clouds like that. And you're perplexed by this for maybe 10 or 15 minutes as you continue to climb until, as you get a bit higher, the sounds get a bit more defined. And it isn't rolling thunder. It is the sound of 24 dragons speaking and
Oh
debating
God.
and arguing. and it sounds as though the very air itself is just shaking with the intensity of the conversation. This
I admit, not a
continues.
fan of that.
It doesn't really show any signs of abating or even escalating. It seems relatively flat, but constant as you're traveling throughout the morning. Can I get a perception check from everybody?
Have we made it like past around where I saw that light?
Almost. You're getting close.
Okay. Okay. I'd like to like search around where I thought that was when we get there.
Okay.
13.
Make a survival check for me as well, then, Nick, to make sure that you can kind of get close to where you thought it was.
15 on perception and dirty 20 on survival.
Okay. You said 13, Jeff, for your perception?
Yes.
So 13, 15, Kayana?
18.
18, and Ilya?
24.
24. Okay. Cool.
Fuck yeah.
By Tor's grace.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Wartalk. I go ahead and roll with advantage for your perception because of that survival check.
Perception on the roll I just did, so roll once more.
So just roll once more and take it if it's higher.
Nope, sticking with that roll.
All right, cool. So, Ilya, as you all are kind of winding around one particular bend in the path, Wartalk kind of looks across the ravine, I guess, the dip between the two sort of mountain peaks, and kind of judges the position and realizes that he's kind of looking back at where your camp was the previous night. And so, Wartalk, you kind of bring this up to the group. You say, hey guys, like I saw a light around here late last night.
That was here.
Oh.
Give or
And
take
as
like
you
3 inches.
kind of mention this, the group of you kind of start to look around a little bit and survey the landscape and try and find what you can see. And Ilya, you can make out the slightest hint of scorch marks and a little bit of melted snow on a rock face that was rather hard to find and was kind of like obscured behind another outcropping of rock, but when you're looking at it and kind of peering around in that area, it seems like it would be a good place to, say, set up a camp for the evening.
I let my companions know.
Okay. So now you
your
are
dad
all
camped here.
aware of this possible campfire or other source of flame.
Who else would it be?
Yeah, that's the thing. Who else would it be?
The
And if
Dragonborn.
it is somebody else, then that is cause for alarm.
Yeah.
Dragonborn seemed pretty adamant that he was like the only you ever just look at your DM and get worried? Anyway,
Yeah.
No, what?
the
What are
only
you talking about?
they
I didn't
seemed
just
adamant that
flash
he
the
was like
monster
the only one
manual
that had
and
recently
stroke it
got here.
lovingly in front of all of you.
I don't like that.
So I don't know. But I mean, I think it's too small for like to be a dragon.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think dragons camp.
Yeah.
Do
Except
they
for
not?
this guy.
Make
Well-
a history check.
Oh, you know what? That's fair. That's fair. Oh, and wait. Oh, I am proficient in history, aren't I?
I'm not 7.
I'm not. 19.
Cool. Wartalk.
Yeah.
While you've never experienced it yourself or had any reason really to interact with them, actually, what is it? Is it brass dragons that are on the shores? Or is it bronze? I can never remember.
Yeah, I was forgetting.
Brass.
It might be brass.
Boldly talkative, prize treasures, yada yada yada.
They're precious.
Nope, definitely bronze. They're the
Bronze?
military
Okay.
submarines of Dragonkind. Thank you, Runesmith.
Ah.
Ah!
RuneSmith.
I
I
love
love that,
Runesmith.
man.
What a great channel. Oh, also, speaking of which, I figured out what it is about XP to level 3. I love his skits. I don't like his his talk about D&D theory videos. I tend to just disagree with him on how I like to run my games. But like,
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
fair.
like I'm like, you're an idiot and you're wrong. It's just like, not for me. But like his skits are fucking great. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, the skits though. A+.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so yeah. Warthog, you would have probably met a couple of bronze dragons here and there.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe one or two. And specifically, you've heard tales of them changing shape into humanoids to converse with dockhands or parley with crews of ships, etc. And so it kind of comes to your mind that, like, well, maybe if they were in that shape, they would camp. I don't know. Like, it's possible.
They could. They can be, you know, like just a slob like one of us. So it's possible. Um,
No, that makes sense.
I don't know why one of them would be. Well, yeah, I don't exactly know why, but it's very
Maybe
possible.
it's like a game for them. It's fun.
That would be such fun hide and seek. I would do that constantly if I was a dragon. One of you goes into human, the other rest are dragons. Good luck. Oh man, we should pitch that to them and see that already. Because if they don't, they're welcome.
So
Wait.
the human would have to hide among other humans, and then there'd be like a swarm of dragons just descending on this human settlement, trying to find their own kind.
No, I mean the human can just be like normal human form, but just like trying to hide in the landscape, so they'd be harder to see.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. That could work, yeah.
That's. I mean, it'd be
That'd be
cooler
fun.
if they were hiding within people, but other than that,
Okay, so you find this scorch mark as you're investigating. You don't really see any other tracks or hints of movement. It doesn't even look like anyone set up or broke camp around here. Just
just a little bit of melted snow and some scorch marks.
Yeah.
That's it.
seems
All
to be all.
Huh.
Which is rather strange. You would expect most creatures to leave, footprints or something.
Is there? Can I try and like investigate out, like on the path outside of it, and see if it looks like it was traversed outside of the
What are you
campy
looking
area?
for? Because it might be a survival if you're looking for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sort of looking for tracks, I guess, and to see if there's disturbances outside.
Yeah, I'd say that's survival. So go
Okay.
ahead and make a survival check for me.
14.
Okay. Nothing that you find. No. Actually, wait. What was that? What was it?
You see a dragon corpse.
Oh god.
What is there? That would be bad.
Yeah.
Granny Smith just pops up. Hello, it's me again.
No.
I would like to dimension door to the other side of the peak. Thank you.
Okay. You said that you rolled a what? 13?
14 total.
14. Ah, there we go. Good. That's what you needed. So,
Sick.
you actually do find a very light set of footprints. They seem to be large and almost wolf-like. Like there's definitely like toe beans and a central paw. But it's hard to imagine a creature that could make a footprint that wide and that lightly. Like it barely depresses in the snow.
Bipedal?
No, quadrupedal.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Definitely like dog-like.
So it doesn't look good.
Well, what is it?
It's a footprint.
Okay.
Of what?
A big boy.
Can you be a little bit more specific than that?
No. It looks like
Fine.
I don't know, like a very large dog, or like a very large wolf. But not thick.
Can I like look at the footprint myself and try to identify what creature it might be?
Sure. Go ahead and make a. Yeah, I'd say survival check for this.
19.
Okay. Gosh. All right. Your immediate thought is direwolf, but as you look closer and closer at it, there's just something off about it. Something you can't quite put your finger on. It's not the track of a direwolf, but it's also not the track of anything you've ever seen before. It's most similar to a direwolf, but it's not the same.
Wait.
Looking at this.
Could your dad transform into a gigantic wolf-like sort of creature, by any chance?
I mean, not that I knew of.
Dang. That was
The tracks seem reminiscent of like a direwolf, but something's not right. This isn't anything I'm familiar with.
Well.
So yeah, I guess you were right, Warthog. It's not good. Apologies for
it's fine.
saying such.
But you're on thin ice.
Oh, well.
Okay, so as you kind of wrap up your investigation with this campsite, finding nothing really more of interest around than these few tracks in the scorched campfire-like thing, you continue on your path, keeping a close eye out for whatever might have made those tracks. And because of your success there, I'd like all of you to roll another perception check with advantage.
Oh shit.
Oh, wait.
That's really good.
Oh, it's less good than I thought. 18.
I got 19 again.
19.
27.
That's
Alrighty
really
then.
18.
It's fine. Cayenne's woken up now. Hangover is
Kind
gone
of had her
down.
coffee.
Yeah, now that all the dragons speaking, I can't be sleepy. With
Her
all the
third eye has been opened. Wait. too soon.
Wait, no. Wait, no.
Perfect. It's
Not like
about
this.
time.
Jeff, shut up.
Oh,
Cured you.
Put it away.
Drop it.
Give me just a sec here. I'm trying to find
What's
a
in your
couple of
forehead? Spit it out.
well, you got rid of it. It's gone.
I did.
Kyle said something really cool today.
Oh?
He's talking about how it would be better if Jeff's like eye socket for his third eye didn't sew itself back. Because
What does that
because then he's like, because then you can get him a third glass eye. I'm like, I hate that. He's like, yeah, just make it like a smoke screen. So when you guys need an escape, just be like, eyeball.
Oh man.
I was like, shit, Kyle, that is cool. Fuck.
I take it back. I'm for it.
That's great. I love this.
It's just a giant gusher filled with monster.
It's just a pocket. It's just the third pocket.
Pocket eye smash.
This is going downhill so quickly. Sorry, that was me. I'm sorry.
Listen, he may be named Kyle, but sometimes he has good ideas.
Nah, that can't be true. No way.
Sorry.
I heard the name
You-
Kyle.
You had me, and then you lost me.
There was only one place I could go with that.
Alright, well that'll do. Make it
Oh no.
that.
Are we dead yet?
Basically.
That to be.
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
Make them like bright red.
Oh wait, I'm not supposed to be happy about that.
Yeah, cool.
Forgot.
Yeah. Old habits. Sorry.
And
carried over there.
Too real.
I don't know. I guess that'll work. Sure, why not? In the interest of time. Okay, so what were everyone's totals again?
19.
27.
18?
18.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. So, with those scores, who got the 27? It was Kayana, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Kayana, as you are keeping a close eye out, you're still ascending this staircase, and you come to a section that's kind of cliff-like. There's a few ledges, maybe 5 or 6 feet tall, that you're kind of clambering over, and you're moving about, kind of pulling yourself up over one, probably with Jeff's help because we small thing, or Ilya's,
Mm-hmm.
and you kind of get your eyes over it, and you see something that immediately makes you drop back down. You spot a large wolf-like head with a pair of bright red eyes, and in its maw seemed to glow fire. You saw it stalking behind one of these ledges.
Not a fan.
How would you all like to proceed?
Well, it looks like
Fucking
Warthog.
caution.
It looks like
Carefully.
Warthog has busted out that old Prima's official strategy guide.
I opened it to 2 pages from what I was gonna look for.
Nice.
Anyway.
You guys,
What's
this
the?
is bad.
You see?
This is a very dire situation.
So I found the dog.
Is it a good
Warthog,
dog?
You get 30 bonus experience.
The dog looks like it can breathe fire. It does not look like a good dog. This is bad.
All dogs are good dogs. There's only bad trainers.
Word.
This trainer
Yes,
was
but
very
that does not apply to wolves.
Wolves are just dogs that haven't been pet yet.
I want
No.
you to put that saying into practice with a real wolf and see how far that gets you.
I'm gonna make it into a t-shirt and wear it to the zoo.
Hmm.
So, what y'all gonna do?
How close is it?
Well, let's jump into roll 20, and I
Oh,
will
fuck.
So while that's
pull
loading,
you guys into
yeah,
the right map.
it's a Russian company.
Of course,
I heard
it's a
about
Russian
that.
company.
Yeah, a long time ago they started the idea, and then they just kind of kept going.
Yep.
For what?
It has taught us a lot
Domesticating
about
foxes. Yeah, it was
a lot
incredible
about
study.
canine genes in particular.
Yeah.
What are these bad things? Oh, there's bad.
Wait, is there more than one?
Yeah.
There's something with wings, and then
He's supposed to be on the GM layer.
Oh,
Okay.
no, guys. What? This map seems completely blank. I do not see any of the enemies around.
Ignore me!
I
I
hadn't
think
looked.
we are safe to proceed.
As far as I know, it's
So
fine.
actually, everyone right now is currently off of the darker section. The ledge is just on the bottom of the map there, and so like kind of you basically peeked right there and looked over and saw it basically walking from like here to here, and you went fuck.
okay. So it's like 70 feet away, and it's just watching over the ledge.
Actually, it is underneath of that. That little dotted line there represents a kind of an overhang. So it's actually underneath of that rock formation.
Okay.
Effectively,
What
from
do
your
we do?
perspective as you were peering over the ledge, you saw it walk behind what looked like an outcropping of rock.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, it's like about 70 feet away, and it's just patrolling the area up ahead.
Well, yeah, we need to get past it one way or another. So I suppose we can either. I mean, we don't want to attack it just outright. I suppose it could be friendly, right?
I
But-
highly doubt
Speaking?
it, but possibly. Like, it's not impossible, even if it might be doubtful.
Yeah,
Could be dragon's pet.
yeah. So like we could
No.
ready to murder it while we make sure. Or we could all just kind of.
You know, that's fair. That's fair.
I bet it can't. This is gonna sound really stupid after what we accidentally saw. I bet it can't fly, so.
You know, it didn't look like it had wings. I didn't see anything around that had wings, so probably not a bad bet.
Thank you guys for not metagaming. I do appreciate that.
In character, not metagaming. Out of character. Oh no!
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, either we go like forward and try and just. I mean, really, okay.
Maybe
Either
just
we go
be
kill it.
prepared.
Yeah. Be prepared to kill it, or we just kind of go away.
Fly away.
Yeah, I can fly. Probably Jeff and Clanky. They can carry Ilya. Kiana, you can kind of.
Yeah, I could also carry Ilya, and we can do that
That's true,
like
yeah.
Eagle Knight strategy again.
Yeah.
That was actually
I'm-
really
In
And I've got a
case
broom
it's,
now.
In case it affects your plans in any way, an important thing to note is that the winds up here are quite strong, and they howl, for lack of a better word. They're loud. They cover a good amount of sound. That
So we might-
combined with the low rumble of draconic, thunderous voices, makes things quieter.
Okay.
We could just
Maybe
sneak
we could
around it,
sneak
too.
by. Yeah,
Not very
I
good at
guess
sneaking.
There's.
I can cast Pass Without a Trace.
Yeah, also
mechanically
your main lack of
also-
sneaking is your noise.
Right. Mechanically, I said that because the sound from your armor would be masked, and so you would not be at disadvantage.
Okay. Yeah, I
It
guess
can
you
still
can hit
like
us
give
up.
us an extra boost, but like
Yes,
Yeah.
Pass Without a Trace is still not a bad idea, but
Yeah,
you'll be
but
even more
Jeff, you're not at a
helped.
strict disadvantage. Worst case
Yeah.
scenario, Jeff, you lay down and we just roll you in the snow.
What would that do?
It'd be pretty
Camouflage.
fun.
I mean, in normal circumstances, perhaps it would be, but not now.
okay. Well, how about
Worst
I
case
drop
scenario,
Pass
we
Without.
just go out playing a game and rolling Jeff through the snow. Wee! Ah!
Well, no, you see what happens is we roll him at the dog. He's prone, and then we run away.
Well, alright, I see how it is. You
I
guys
can
really
avoid-
Abandoning
good
party
Eldritch
members on mountains again, are we?
is this the revenge? Is this my karmic retribution for the eyeball shenanigans?
Yes.
Is this how I'm paying for it? I die.
Look, guys, I get it. You're only friends with the fat kid, so you can make me get left behind when we're running from the zombies, okay? I get it.
No, you're a good shot, man. We need you.
That's true. I am a good shot. I'm also good with a sword.
Okay.
That's fair too. That's more important, honestly.
I'm going to cast Pass Without Trace, so
Alright, we'll go.
within a 30-foot aura. Let me
Be
get.
careful. The mountain goats are back.
What?
They're
Ah!
biting my elbow.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Get
Alright.
I will launch you off a mountain, so help.
No.
Do it. Wait, that's not the one. Is that the one that peed on our bed?
Yes.
No.
Her name's not Lydia. You can't do that.
I'm sorry, Navi. It's your
Look,
fault for making such a bad first impression.
Look, I love Navi.
Look
She's
me in
very
the
cute. She's just defending her territory. It's fine.
Exactly. She's very protective. She doesn't like new people.
That's okay.
Uh-huh.
I understand.
Okay.
No harm, no foul. It's just gonna be a joke that never ends. Like,
Oh no, absolutely.
Tiny
like
shack.
My
Matt's
tiny
crappy little
shack.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah, your tiny little shanty hut.
What a piece of shit. I mean, just like look at these doors. Like those are the doors of a shitty ass house. That one's got holes in it. The other one doesn't close all the way. I mean, ugh.
Wait, you have
Good starter
doors?
home though.
So anyway, pass without trace.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
So everybody stay within 30 feet of me, and we can get going.
Cool. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Sounds.
Which way are we going?
Up the stairs, dude.
Well,
Starve.
all right.
Just straight up.
Is there much other choice that we have?
I guess we
Maybe-
don't
Well, you can
see
kind of
this yet
see that
because
the
of the big
steps
rock.
bend around the rock where you
It
saw
goes
that
this
one
way.
hellhound go.
Okay.
Let's go this way.
Sure, okay. If it wouldn't be considered like difficult terrain or whatever.
Quick question I've never asked.
Okay.
If I'm say inside of Clanky, can I still cast spells out?
Yes, but you can't see, so anything line of sight would be.
Okay.
not
Okay.
doable.
It's a enclosed.
It's
thing.
more
It's
that
just-
like I don't think you can. Let me put it this way: you could feasibly do it if you were up in his helmet, but you couldn't sustain that without making checks because you're too small
Yeah.
to be there without like holding yourself up. You're basically
Okay.
doing like a flexed arm hang on like his gorget while you're holding yourself up to like see out of his visor. And without making some strength checks, you'd probably fall back into where you'd normally be, which is just encased in his torso.
Okay. That's fair.
You have
I mean,
to wear
for
his
balance
body like a
reasons,
second
too, that's
skin.
good.
It puts the armor oil on its skin, or else it gets the hose again.
Oh. Okay, I'm just gonna keep walking then.
Nick was like, "Oh well, maybe I'll risk it," and then Harley said that, and he was like, "Nope."
Nope.
Excellent.
I'm a head out.
So it doesn't count as difficult terrain because you all are kind of already moving stealthily, so you're already kind of. I'm not saying you're moving at half speed, but we're also not in rounds, so you're kind of moving slowly but getting through. It doesn't take like extra to get through the narrow pass. All right. What were everyone's stealth checks?
Oh, I forgot to roll.
26.
I get plus 10.
Yep.
Yes. 34.
Ooh.
Okay.
16 with the pass without trace.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Ilya?
Ilya.
With pass without trace, I have 12.
I knew that was going to be the number you said. All right. This is going to be close, actually.
Kill me.
Wait,
No.
no. We're so close to finding your dad. It would be an absolute shame if he died now.
I don't know if this is gonna be. Oh wait, no, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
So your average
Clanky needs
roll,
to roll, yes.
was a 22. I rolled their perception already. Their highest perception roll was a 21. Skin of your motherfucking teeth. So let me phrase it this way. You all will actually pass right by one of their kind of hidey holes, so you'll definitely see one of them. Actually, let me check that. She doesn't have stealth or anything. Kinda, your passive perception is 18, right?
19 now.
19?
Catch up.
Cool. Yeah. So, as you all are walking around, kind of getting around there where Wartok is standing, you see that thing that you totally didn't see before.
I actually didn't see it.
You
Ah.
see what looks like a woman clad from head to toe in ebon armor, trimmed with, it almost looks like crimson fire. She has these great brown eagle wings that kind of stretch out behind her, and in one hand she holds a wicked-looking long sword with, actually, she probably grasps the pommel of a wicked-looking long sword with poison kind of dripping from the guard.
I know what this is.
And slung over her back, she has a longbow that is of equally sinister make.
New
Imagine
Kaleskin.
like the Daedric bow from the Skyrim type shit.
Wait, she has Daedric weapons? Now we have to kill her.
No, I
um,
don't have a soul stone.
let me see.
I do.
Who might know
Oh,
this?
sick.
Who's trained in religion, actually?
I
I-
am.
I actually am.
All right, everybody
got
but Jeff, roll religion check.
Dang it!
Get fucked.
I got a big fat +0 to religion. Everyone else is proficient in it.
20?
Dirty 20.
Same.
Nat 20 plus 7.
Nice.
Oh, Jesus.
We're
We
all
have
just
this
like,
bitch's
oh fuck,
number."
we know.
However, all three of you do recognize what
Hell
this
yeah.
is. This is a fury.
Hell yeah.
They are
Nick?
servants of powerful. So actually, Ethan, you know what this is, but you don't know what this is. The
Okay.
Erinyes are technically Furies. That's the other name for them in Greek mythology. But
Yeah, that's cool.
this is specifically a Fury because it's chaotic evil, and they are servants to demons
Oh,
rather than
I
devils.
got you.
So it's stat block wise, it's the same, but I think it actually fits the lore better, both in my world and in the mythology, for them to be chaotic evil. So I'm shifting it a little bit.
Sure, that works.
So you recognize it to be a Fury, a servant of a powerful demon.
So as we pass, just keep walking. Just
Keep walking, just keep walking, just keep walking, keep walking.
hold on to Clanky.
Yeah. Did Clanky make a stealth check?
Oh no, what if he brings an average below
We're
21?
good. No, it's 23.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Your average is now 22.5. All right. Yeah, so you see this Fury kind of camped out. It looks intently focused on something. You can't tell what. There doesn't seem to be anything in sight or in hearing range other than the draconic mumblings and the howling of the wind. But it seems to be paying close attention to something, and it's kind of wrapped in its own thoughts and doesn't notice you passing by. You also see one of the Hellhound, Kayana, that you caught a glimpse of. Its red maw kind of just glowing with the embers of flame deep within its throat. It's kind of just also somewhat intent, just kind of sitting underneath of this rock outcropping. It's keeping a little bit of a closer eye on its surroundings, but it doesn't seem to see you. The group of you pass by and escape its sight.
That's good.
Bleep!
You successfully sneak past this trio of enemies, as there was another Hellhound over here.
That-
kind of up on the very cliff face, peering out and downward. That one
Really,
rolled
back in the
relatively low
green.
because it was looking in the wrong direction. But
Shut up. Never
Sorry.
you
What are you
managed to
talking
kind
about?
of weave your way through and avoid the encounters with this beast and this devil
We
lady.
did it.
What the fuck are they doing on a mountain?
I don't
Your
know.
best.
It's a good question.
We should probably.
Yes. All I had to say was that's a good question. That's all I said, guys. I don't.
No, I had already stopped my train of thought. So now instead to the party too, though. Should we tell the dragon?
They might want to know that they're
They
chaotic.
probably
Well-
want to know.
They might also blame us or think we're in cahoots and just kind of like.
Well, if they can read our intentions, then they know we're not lying. Dragons are smart enough to be insightful.
It's fair.
But will
Wise
they give
enough,
you the
whatever.
chance?
I mean, they'd be already giving us the chance if we're telling them about the thing, so. That's.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll tell them about the
If you
horrible
get that far.
What?
thing. Did anybody
Oh,
else hear?
nothing.
Did anybody else hear that?
I just like fucking with you.
No. Okay, it's just me.
Yep. You heard a voice on the wind Wartalk, but it dissipated.
Dang it, ambition. That salad's still in my backpack, you jerk.
You know I could.
How long
see
has
all
it
the
been in
time.
there?
You could just pull it out and show it to me.
I guess they don't hear this, do they? The rest of the
Nope.
party.
No.
So I'm just stopping. I reach into my little backpack and I hold up the salad.
It's like rotted to shit, and he's like,
Oh my
"Well,
god!
time has
Warthog.
definitely passed since you got out."
How long have you had that?
Shut up.
The tomatoes are like growing mold, and the spinach is all like shriveled up.
Maybe it's time to toss that one out, yeah.
I'm not gonna finish this if you want it.
Ambition, like in your mind, goes, "I do love a tossed salad." And the DM gets 50 bonus experience.
Well,
suck it up
someone
now.
fucks.
Canonically, ambition fucks.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
This is established lore.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay, cool.
Warthog, are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. Just
You
What?
you took out a moldy salad and just held it aloft for a few minutes. Are you sure you don't have like a third eye growing out of your forehead? I just want to.
yes.
I just want to make sure it's not contagious or anything. That's all.
Checks to be
No,
sure.
I'm pretty sure it's sneeze right in Jeff. I'm pretty sure it's fine. Sorry.
Dang it! I'm
Oh
gonna
God,
relapse.
Coronavirus. Jeff, quick, roll for coronavirus.
All right.
God, no.
3.
You don't get
Oh, no.
coronavirus.
Dang it.
Oh, no.
He was
He has you roll the
making
19,
the roll for
however.
the virus, not for himself resisting the
Gotcha.
virus.
Shouldn't I make the roll for the virus since I was infecting him?
No.
Ah, dang.
I know
That's
you
fine,
think
wasn't
that
one.
it would work that way, but it doesn't.
Fair enough.
I offer you no more justification than that.
Quick, we all need to level up 3 times in Paladin so we become immune to disease.
There you go.
I've already
Actually,
got my
I think I
multi-class
only need to
picked.
level up once more in Druid.
Nice.
Oh.
All right.
Anyway.
So,
Carrying on.
avoiding contact with the Fury and her 2 Hellhounds, you continue on along your path, and around, say, 2 p.m. or so, the sounds that you've been hearing, this kind of draconic murmur in the background that has floated on the wind down from the summit towards you, changes abruptly. And not only does the sound change, but you suddenly see a bright flash of light from above you the sound suddenly just raises to a fever pitch, but instead of the draconic language, now what you hear is a collective roar. And looking upward toward the summit of the mountain, what you see at first is strange and impossible. It looks like it's at once raining and thunderstorming, and also this cloud of smog is descending from the clouds as though poison is just being dumped upon the world below. Fire streaks from the sky in like these huge fireballs. What else is there? Ice shards begin just pelting downward, or so it seems at first. But as your brains kind of adjust, it's not coming down from the sky; it's going up. The lightning is arcing from the summit of the mountain into the clouds. The fire is flowing upwards, not down, as with the other elements as well. And after another moment of confusion, your brains make out that these are draconic breath weapons being fired into the sky. After
Jeff,
this,
put it in.
What?
I said, Jeff, join in.
I'm still trying to comprehend this. My brain doesn't move as fast as y'all's.
But a simple country boy.
I don't know nothing about birthing no dragons. I don't know where that was gonna go, but it didn't go where I... Anyway,
But it went there.
Yep. So, as soon as it starts, it stops, and the flashing, blinding light from the lightning and the glowing red of the fire all at once just disappear and cease. And then you see just 24 bodies begin flying out from the summit. The Council of Dragons seems to have ended.
Oh, dang it, we were too late.
As these reptilian elegant bodies fly from the summit through the sky, most of them, well, not most, either way, not most. Half of them are going outward, spreading far beyond kind of this particular area of the mountain range, going back to their nests, their hordes. You assume these are the chromatics. The other half are staying a little bit closer. They still fly outward and kind of disperse, but they aren't going as far or as purposefully quick away from the summit. The metallic dragons, as this is kind of their home, their keep, are sticking around. A few of them fly down and alight on cliffs here and there, and you see just these glimmering scales catching the sunlight from every direction. It's a dazzling and incredible display as these impossibly large beasts just glide through the air like graceful kites. One seems to be growing larger and larger and larger, and you see the sun glinting off of its gleaming silver scales, but actually, that's not a great description. Glinting off of its gleaming silver body. Because even as it gets close, you cannot see individual scales. It looks almost as though it is a single piece of silver that has been carved intricately into this beautiful shape of a dragon. And the silver dragon comes perilously close to you. You can feel the wind from the beating of its wings, until you see it kind of stop in midair, wings outstretched, and then it folds the wings around itself, and you see this gleaming light start to emit from its body, and the whole dragon just kind of slowly drifts down towards the cliff, shrinking as it does, until maybe about 60 feet in front of you, you see a man. An old man with silver hair and a long silver beard, flowing blue robes over a white shirt and white trousers, walks from the cliff towards the group of you. He kind of stretches and cricks his neck a little bit. Kind of see him getting used to the humanoid shape again
It's pretty
until
awful.
he is within a respectable speaking range. And he greets you, saying, "Hello, my friends. What brings you to our mountain?"
Um, partially, we were looking for her father.
"Your father. I assume you speak of Gerald."
Yes.
"Well, he will be a bit busy for the immediate future, I'm sorry to say. He has important business with the leader of our tribe."
What do you mean?
It is something of a tale to tell, the events of the past day. Why don't we sit, make a fire, chat a little?
Well, okay. I'll start preparing a campsite, I guess.
All right.
You got it.
Real
Should-
quick, friend.
Yeah,
I feel like we should warn you.
Hmm.
There's this angry looking demon thing and a couple very, very large dogs a little bit back down that path that we passed.
demon dogs.
You
Yeah,
see
demon
a
dogs.
flash in his eyes. He says, "Did they harm you?
No. We just kind of snuck past because they looked very angry.
Did they harm anyone else?
Not that
Not
we
from
know
what we
of.
could tell.
Yeah, we don't.
What were they doing?"
They were looking at the
Staring,
summit.
Existing. Patrolling.
pondering, pontificating, waiting, watching, wondering.
Chillin'.
Hell yeah.
One of them seemed to be very focused on watching the summit.
Yeah, the fury. Oh, it was a fury. Yeah, no, I can say that.
Does that change how he reacts? Yeah, probably. Take me to them. Now.
Are we about
Oh.
to go kill him?
Yeah,
'Cause
okay.
All right.
Yes, sir.
We're not pressing
You've
we're not
got
pressing
it.
him. All right, let's
Let's
go.
murder some furies and some puppies.
Come on, troop.
All right.
'Cause-
If a man kills his own dog and
So-
eats it, is it considered morally wrong?
Kept
A fury cannot be allowed to stay this close to our summit. Is this where they were? At this point, you all have basically brought them back to that ledgy area where you first saw them. You don't see the Hellhounds at first.
Yeah, this
there
is where
was
they
a
were.
puppy there, and the fury was right around that corner.
He kind of flexes his shoulder muscles a little bit and says, "Forgive me." Step back, and you
Yeah, no,
see
do
him
it,
kind
do
of
it.
like spread his arms outward, and you see these wings just erupt from his back, and he grows immediately into his silver draconic form, and he just puts one clawed foot down, just slams it into the mountain in front of where the fury had been hiding, and then brings his head around quickly, blasting with, I think silver is frost breath, ice breath?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Blasting with his ice breath just right into the cove where the fury had been hiding, and it meets with nothing.
Okay. Take him away.
You hear another foot just slam into the mountain, and a moment later, the old man is back. You see a clear disappointed look in his eyes, but well, thank you for the information.
Figured you might want to know.
Indeed. I don't know what they learned, but if there was anything, well, we'd best be cautious. At any rate,
Yeah.
shall we have that chat?
Yeah.
Sure. We'll go back. I guess we'll go back to like a somewhat safer spot, and I'll make a campfire.
I think anywhere is safe with him around, but
Oh, yes.
I think safe from prying eyes might not be a bad idea.
Yeah.
that is fair.
Well, the chromatics have left. Any other prying eyes should be trivial, easily dealt with. And it seems that your enemies have left this area, so, well, give me a moment. And he once again shifts into his dragon self, takes a quick flyby, kind of searching the crevices around the mountainside. You actually hear him kind of land on the side of the mountain and kind of climb up with his claws, looking around various nooks and crannies. And then you see this huge draconic body just kind of pull himself up over as he's transforming back into the human man. Who steps forward and says, I think it's safe.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, man. Yeah, no, I trust you.
Thank you. Now, judging by the makeup of the group I see before me, I'm guessing you're the Siegebreakers.
These are spread up even to here.
How do you know?
Oh, I keep a close eye on the goings-on of this kingdom. They
Who
intrigue
wouldn't
me.
know us? Pretty big deal.
Yes, for this kingdom, especially in its young age, you are some of the most interesting heroes to have come along.
It's pretty young.
Your adventures have been fun to watch and hear about. So,
Yeah. We can talk about this later.
introductions, I suppose.
Yep.
My name is Thadavalcor. You
Gesundheit.
can call me Tad.
I like this guy.
I love this guy. Nice to meet you, Tad. I am Jeff.
Good to meet you,
Hi-
Jeff.
hi, Tad.
And you see kind of a little like appraising smile play over his lips as he kind of, you're a silver dragonborn. He's kind of intrigued.
He's checking you out.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm Wartalk. Hey.
Very good to meet you,
Not Tad.
Wartalk. And
You
you?
too.
Kayana.
Good to meet you. And I suppose that leaves Ilya, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct.
Very good to make all of your acquaintances.
You have way better manners than the Dragonborn similar we know. Anyway, yeah, no, my pleasure.
Better manners than whom?
Nobody?
Well,
He might be referring to me. I was waylaid for some time by cursed eyeball.
I'm very sorry to hear. Although,
Well, it's been expunged now. It's fine, but
that's good. In fact, I would presume the mountain shields were the ones to do that. Am I right?
yeah, yeah, it was them.
They're pretty cool.
Yes, they are. Met one or two of them in my day. Their first Aegis was something of a legend among you human warriors. Now, about your father, Gerald. He came to us, well, to our conclave of the Five Metals, the Dragonborn that you all no doubt spoke to down below, and asked for an audience. When he presented the evidence he had, we were intrigued, to say the least. In no small measure, we had no choice but to hear him out, given what he showed them. What he showed them was a head, severed. One of the former dukes of this kingdom.
Oh.
Not only was the head severed. But the wound at the bottom of the neck was cauterized not with flame, but with rot and darkness. Such a grave wound, dealt in such a corrupt way, could not be ignored. No magic exists among the humanoid races that can deal such a blow, which means that whoever dealt it was given help from another creature. It was proof without any possible refutation that we are dealing with a resurgence of evil in this world. Our
That's
leader,
quite first impression.
indeed, our leader, a venerable and ancient gold dragon named Alvuria.
Parthenax?
Gold, not black.
Parthenax isn't black.
You're right, he's grayish brown.
Yeah.
He's
Not
an
gold,
ancient
though.
old dragon.
Yeah, the black
Um,
dragon is Alduin.
You can call
Yeah.
him Al.
Parthenax is Perry.
Yeah, Perry.
Oh,
That's good.
I love that.
Alvuria, our leader, took Gerald to a sacred place where the two of them together hope to be able to divine something, to be revealed a vision or a prophecy of sorts that may aid in the task to come. Your father came in asking us to go to war. This was a poor choice on his part, but to the man's credit, he quickly changed his tactic. We dragons are, well, we live a long time. I don't suspect that you'll fully understand, at least not at first, but that longevity makes us slow to action. Sometimes, although you won't hear many other dragons admit this, to our detriment. What your father was asking was not only action, but the most intense form of action one can take. That didn't really sit
Zumba.
well.
Sorry.
No, it's...
Sorry.
If you know much about dragons, and given how secluded we've been in this region for most of current history, not many people do, then it is somewhat laughable. No one who had studied the ways of dragons would come to us and ask us to go to war. But when your father did so, it showed courage, and it showed conviction. And when he changed his tactic to a more mitigated, more measured course of action, we listened. And we listened for a few reasons, some of which I need not indulge here. But chiefly, you should know that there is a prophecy that concerns all dragons. That should we ever join in the conflicts of humanity, we will all perish. As long as we have lived, there has been no discussion of escaping that fate. But we're dragons. We don't like the idea of being told what's going to happen to us. And so, while we may not have spoke about it openly, all of us were secretly fostering hope that there might be some way to get out of it. So when your father comes along talking of war and then changing, and by the way, he quickly adopted the position of, well, it's not war necessarily that we're going to. We may need to take action, but it will be for our own freedom. Because there are two choices. One, the evil wins, and all the dragons perish anyway under its rule. Or two, the evil is sealed away again. And we remain here, on Eleven, with nowhere to go but this mountain range. As long-lived as we are, 300 years begins to show one that being cooped up in a fortress close by with other dragons is not the way we're meant to live.
Do you, pardon me, you don't have any memory before 300 years, do you?
Not clear ones. I recall emotions, and I recall senses. But memories, no.
So not even dragons were immune.
No, the spell was well crafted. And indeed, it's likely better that we forgot to. If anyone were alive to remember, then anyone can be corrupted and could be used with or against their own will to bring it back. The evil that was sealed away was too great for that risk. You have to understand. Well, you don't have to. I implore you to try and understand. The magic that was woven even to that world, where magic was powerful and common, where daily tasks were made trivial by the use of it, and great wars hinged upon the next great magical innovation. Even there, the spell that was woven was unique, novel, and could not be tested. There was no small scale, there was no time. So, instead of attempting to weave the spell around certain individuals and possibly miss something or leave a gap, it was applied in as broad strokes as was possible.
No, I do understand that. I just thought that perhaps dragons' innate power might have them resist some of its effects.
Well, some of our writings survived, which is how I know the tidbit I just gave you. We seem to have retained the ability to read Elterran. Uniquely.
You cut out?
Oh. We seem to have retained the ability to read Elterran. Uniquely among the sentient races, it seems. I don't think any of you would have heard the name of the language Elterran. I don't think so.
Didn't we hear it at the secretarium though? Didn't
Yeah.
we? Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah,
Olvari told us about that.
Yeah, they might have named it. That's very possible. They definitely know how to
Yeah.
read it. Okay.
Yeah.
And they
Cool.
did mention that there were some outs put in place.
Mhm.
So this clicks. This
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yep. And specifically, they definitely told you that Elterran was the language that wasn't wiped. So ratings in that language they pretty much all survive. Dragons, being the lore keepers that they are, had a few more records than most in that language. Now, once your father began talking of this instead, and the idea of freedom, getting off of this particular world, the chance to change our own fate, well, we listened. And the metallic dragons were rather quick to agree with him after that. And part of that is because we know something the chromatics don't. We were able to force their hand. If we agreed to take action, then the chromatics could no longer sit idly by. They would be sitting ducks,
There would be an imbalance of power.
a very steep one. As outside of this mountain range, the truce that holds us in a tenuous peace, with all 24 of us living so near together, is broken. That magical truce does not hold power beyond the borders of this mountain range. So, were the metallics to venture out and the chromatics not, the chromatics could do nothing but sit idly by, while the metallics were able to exercise their will in the world. Something that, of course, they could not abide, and we knew that. So we agreed with your father, and the chromatics were not far behind. So now is something set in motion that has not been the case for, well, much longer even than since the Scouring. Dragons, by nature, are not ones to interact with each other or intervene. As I said, we tend to avoid action. This, however, will be the largest undertaking of dragons in, I dare say, living memory, including dragons' living memory. And the thing we know that I'm choosing, perhaps against my better judgment, but you know King Pentram, and he trusts you. So, I'll tell you, and see if it's a good idea later. There is an artifact of the dragon's god, our god, Bahamut, the Platinum Dragon. The artifact is called the Eye of the North Wind. It's been held here on Eluven since time immemorial. We have an idea that it lies somewhere in the Indigo Wood, to the south in Dain.
Oh.
If we
Okay.
were able to retrieve that artifact, it would give us a leg up against not only the chromatic dragons, but against the other enemies in this war.
Is this relic related to the heroic Decad's relics, or is it its own separate thing entirely?
It is separate. It is not a weapon. It is a... well,
Tool?
the name is rather apt. It is an eye.
Nice.
It is a gem of kinds. It is a resinous crystal, hardened to the point of, well, platinum, inset with flecks of gold. When peered into and used by one of sufficient magical talent, those flecks array themselves...
Used by what, sorry?
Yeah, he's got.
someone of sufficient magical talent.
Well,
Okay.
I'm out.
Those flecks
Yeah.
array themselves into visions, allowing one to see any creature on their plane of existence. Not only see them, but enter their mind and divine their intentions.
Whoa.
It is
Oh.
immensely powerful. Most humanoids would be incapable of wielding it, but a dragon, that's a different story. Perhaps, if you'd be interested, and we'd certainly make it worth your while, you might help us retrieve it.
Oh,
I understand
absolutely.
Yeah.
you, Kayana, know the area quite well.
How do you know so much about us?
Yeah, I'm
It's
new
like
here.
you've been here the whole time.
Humans are a hobby of mine. I take interest in your lives.
Now you're just making it sound weird.
Now you're just.
Okay,
I don't
seriously.
say this in character.
Silver dragons are fucking weeaboos,
No.
guys. It's fine.
I know.
This is true.
It's true. Like, I have a silver dragon that collects spoons because it's fun.
Yeah. The Siegebreakers are quite the name, and it would have been silly of me not to keep up with the events in my favorite kingdom. Pentrim, in fact, is something of an old friend of mine, and so when I heard he had taken an interest in you, well, I had to follow suit.
So I th- I th- I th- I th- I think it's probably a given. We're gonna try and help out here. I think that's pretty much a given.
Hmm.
We
I wanna-
have business in the Indigo Woods anyways, so
Yeah.
we may
Very
as well
good.
shoot two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I'm curious, real quick though.
Yes.
You what what are your plans? Do you travel outside this area often?
Never, but I will now.
You will now.
As I said,
Uh,
the dragons have kept here for most of the time since the scouring. A few
Right.
dragons will range out in search of prey or particular items for their hoard, but many of us, indeed more than half, see fit to stay within the Ulvengard range. Our presence abroad would do nothing but worry folks and, well, very possibly increase the conflict in the world. And as conflict is akin to chaos, we cannot have that happening unless we are in control of it. Now that Gerald has come along and convinced us of what was already in most of our hearts, I think. But hearing a human come up and wait, is he human? Did we establish that, Ilya?
Yeah, he's human.
Okay, cool. Hearing a human come to us and be so bold as to put these words to the council, well, those feelings became more than just feelings and put us into action, and now many of us will rove beyond the ranges of this mountain. The confines of this mountain, that's the word.
That makes sense.
I think
So
my
I've got
plan is to go south.
Yeah. South is great. South is a great direction. You know, we happen to have an area that you might find interesting. It would keep you in touch around Pentrim. There's quite a few interesting people involved, including
A lot
Including-
of humans.
some people
How
that
do you feel about being called Joe?
It's Tad.
yeah, thank you. Including some people that even have memory from before the scouring, so it'd be like your history and your lore.
The Ulvari.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are the ones. Those are the ones.
There are mentions of them in some of our books. I would
Yeah,
be intrigued
pretty
to meet one. However, there are a few things I'd like to take care of.
That's understandable. No,
course.
yeah, no. But
To
you know,
say
should
nothing
you
of-
take care of them?
You know, to say nothing of the possibility of my coming back, I'd say that's almost certain. But
Naturally.
for now, there is something calling to me in Eaglin.
In the what?
Eaglin,
Eaglin?
Oh, okay.
an old friend, Enlaun. She's been injured.
Sure. Oh,
I needs must go see to her.
yeah. No,
Make sure
definitely.
she is well. And make sure that punishment comes to whoever it was that hurt her.
That's fair. You go rip them apart.
What is this friend of yours?
Enlaun, she is a gold
Yes.
dragon.
I see.
The only gold dragon I've ever made friends with, in fact. They tend to be a little, how do I say this? Stick up their ass for me.
Pompous and overbearing.
Just.
It's fair. It's fair.
But Enlaun is a bit different. She has a rigid and an upright code of honor and law, but She is more willing to, I wouldn't say bend it, but make it work with doing the right thing, actively. I admire that. It's made her a bit of a, I wouldn't say pariah, but a little less popular among the gold dragons, but we silvers quite like her.
Fair enough.
At any rate, unless there are other questions, I have some preparations I need to see to before I head off.
Yep.
And I trust that at least one of you knows the way to the Indigo Wood, so you shouldn't need help on that account.
Where should we go?
I do have one question.
Please.
We couldn't help but notice, and I think we did see this on our way up, while we were preparing to ascend the stairs towards the mountains, we saw that you guys had an annulus.
Ah, yes, we do. We had
We will need
planned
that.
to give that to Gerald, but I suppose giving it to his daughter would be just as good.
I'm sure that would make Gerald proud.
Very well. Then, yes, the conclave of 5 metals has been notified just now. Let them, see them when you leave, and they'll give it to you.
All right.
Sick.
Thank you.
Kind of taps his forehead. Telepathy. Winks at you.
That's pretty cool.
That's nice. That's very nice.
Now,
Um,
yes?
I don't know.
You're looking for something straightforward, aren't you? An answer to a question.
I don't know that it's actually one that you would know the answer to.
Cannot hurt to ask.
With all of the writing that you have left over, and apparently all of this personal info about us, do you think there's actually any helping someone in my situation?
Getting back
And I
to
think you know,
the Feywild.
you know exactly what I mean.
Let me put it this way. You saw that Fury, and you saw her Hellhounds. They aren't from this plane. The connection is tenuous, but not gone.
Right.
I cannot tell you that I know the way, but there must be one. Do you know the way?
the way?
I knew that was every time I get
Yep.
you.
Yep.
Every time I get
It's
you.
so funny.
Bitch, I am the way. She just comes out of nowhere.
Spit on the non-believers. We spit on them.
Do you have Ebola to know the way?
Oh my god.
She is the queen. She's
Alright.
beautiful, beautiful queen.
But actually, I cannot tell you the details, but there must be a way.
Thank you.
Don't lose hope. If you lose hope, they win. And hey, you've got a badass ancient dragon on your side now. And he winks,
Yes, I-
transforms into a dragon, and flies away.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew that part of it already.
You know, it helps. It does help.
It's
It's pretty
There are
cool.
worse friends to have.
There are worse friends to have.
Honestly, I'm a little upset.
What? Why?
Those 5 rat bastards up front had the annulus all along.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude,
I
those
mean-
guys at the front are fucking rude.
Wow.
Versus doormen. 2 out of 10. Because at
I'd
least
like
they
to
did give
speak
us
to
directions.
Wait, why
Yeah,
were
they
they
did.
rude? They weren't that bad.
They were mean to Kayana.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
That's fair.
Yeah. We're protective of our Cayena, okay?
Yeah, hold on, where's the picture?
I gotta drop that image.
To be
I
fair,
got it.
on
I've
their
tasted it
side,
time.
though, that was before they, like... They still thought you all might be a threat at that point.
I mean, it's
Sure.
not that
Still
it's not
fair.
understandable, but
Like
Fair
they
enough.
could like go for my throat in the physical sense, but they didn't have to go for my throat in the metaphorical sense.
That's fair.
Well,
Suppose
suppose we have a clear objective now.
Yeah.
go to some woods.
Yeah.
I should have asked him where the annulus goes to.
Did you all... Oh, you didn't ask if he collected spoons. That's too bad.
Well,
I'm, like, catching up with the chat now.
it's fine. The spoon's reference to my silver dragon.
He doesn't collect spoons, but he does collect certain things.
Dragons just like to collect
Like?
things, man.
Glances nervously at my dice collection. Oh
What is-
no.
What does he collect?
You don't know. You didn't ask.
Oh shit, it's body pillows, isn't it?
No.
Oh god,
It's
it
not
is.
that kind
He's
of
one of
weeaboo.
those weebs.
He
Hell
is one
yeah.
of those weeps,
No,
I bet.
he's not.
No, come on.
Okay, but it's funny.
He's
He's still
helping
Wait, what
a
does
us.
dragon.
Jeff collect?
What? I collect weapons.
Yeah. He's got 10 of them.
You know what? Fair.
What were the 5 yeses for, Ethan?
When
Oh,
you brought
just
up the
the-
fucking eye,
Oh.
Yeah.
Eye of the North Wind.
another silver dragon who's all about another eye.
I
Fuck
love
that
it.
shit.
No, it's great. This has become a saga now. I love it.
Amazing.
That's what he collects. He collects eyeglasses.
My new fan fiction
Oh,
arc.
right! I was gonna ask who the first Aegis. Damn it! I got swept up in memes.
Ah, damn. Them's the
Fuck!
breaks.
Back. Where does this annulus go?
You guys... Well, yeah, I guess you don't know.
We-
He might not
we might
either,
have to-
though.
We might have to make a pit stop in Limna to get our boy to look at it.
Yeah, we need to make a pit stop in Limina anyway.
That is true.
You do?
I mean,
It's
Kind-
certainly not a
like-
bad idea. I didn't know if you all had, like, a thing that you were like, no, we need to go back to Luna for this.
it's not a bad idea. It's kind of on the way. We need to head southwest anyhow.
True.
Collect emotes.
Yeah. You collect emotes, especially dab emotes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Wait, so, Nick, from
That's
that if
not even my
statement,
final form.
from that if statement, are you saying you are a silver dragon? Because I think that definitely qualifies me and Emily, and probably most of us here.
We have fun here, Chad. We have fun here.
Nobody in chat knows what it says. So it says, if I were a silver dragon, I'd collect mental health problems.
Hey.
Dab, 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 dab,
And then
dab, dab, dab.
there's like
9
12.
dab emotes.
Yeah, and also 1 power bottom emote.
I didn't even realize that's what that was.
There you go. I'll
Interesting.
do
Hold
the
up, look.
slightly larger version. Oh yeah, you've got the actual image. I'll let you
Nice.
see
I
that.
f- yeah.
Anyway,
But yeah, so
Let me just drop that.
silver dragon flies away, and nice. You're
Well-
left to your own devices on the frigid mountainside.
well,
Let's go sliding down.
Time to begin the long trek back down.
Shield sled?
Jump.
I did it once in the Olvari trials, and then the room, and then like it turned to the floor as lava, so I had to escape as an
Yeah.
eagle.
Yeah.
and now I've got a way to push you without dealing damage.
Dean,
Nice.
are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I mean,
Okay.
Nick, you had that before. You were just really bad at it. You
Say that
just-
again?
You
cut out.
had that before, a way of pushing without doing damage. You're just really bad at it.
Oh well. Yeah.
Literally pushing.
You know
I
what?
don't
I'm probably not gonna get the opportunity to do this again because the climate's starting to warm up with the season. So I'm gonna go shield sledding down the mountain.
All right.
Oh, if I see him doing that, I'm absolutely gusting him.
To help or to hurt?
Both.
To help.
Choose carefully.
Yeah, to help.
I
You
love
don't
how
sound very
reluctant
enthusiastic
that
about
was.
it.
To hurt. Fobra, 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 fobra.
Well, after you said that, my second thought was I could gust him forward, or maybe I could just shoot him 20 feet in the sky.
Mm. Sick airtime,
It's
bro.
snow. Yeah.
Sean
it's
White!
snow.
Yes.
I'm just gonna. I think what I'm going to do is wild shape into a giant goat and start climbing down.
Okay.
Goats are good at climbing.
They're very good at climbing. The other mountain goats all kind of meh and like back away from your giant goat form. You're definitely flexing on the other goats.
I guess I'll shield sled down as well.
Okay.
Sick.
Warthog, what are you doing?
Warthog, you need a ride?
I'll just.
No, not that.
Sorry. I'm just gonna very carefully and cautiously make my way down. Sorry, I
Alright.
looked back. Yeah.
I'll just turn back at Warthog and bleat at him.
Just
Alright,
look
a
back.
giant goat bleats at
No,
I beat back.
I can't motion to you. God damn it.
I bleed back and then I go back to focusing on the ground, so I try not to die.
This is why we should work things out before wild
Hold on
shape.
to Clanky.
I'm gonna go pick him up.
Okay. A giant goat walks up to you and like kind of gets like the back of your collar and you're kind of like.
I hate it.
Okay, now.
You would have seen me transform.
I mean,
oh
you know
yeah,
it's
I knew
Kayana,
it
but
was
it's still a
you.
giant
Yeah.
goat.
He's getting flashbacks of the trial where Jeff was just like, "Monkey friend, I don't know where you came from, but I'll protect you."
So I went from desperately clutching Clanky to now just desperately clutching the giant goat Kayana.
Yep.
Yep.
Clanky climbs
Leaning
down
over.
too. All right, can
I
I get
hate
athletics checks from everybody except for Warthog?
Hell
Cool.
yeah. Thank you. Oh wait, but Clanky needs to make one.
Okay, you're making Clankies. Good. I'm glad you did that because I rolled a nat
Oh,
1 for Clanky.
That was a good roll.
Athletics 22.
11.
Clanky, cool.
I had 21.
What did you roll for Clanky?
I rolled a nat 1.
Oh,
Fobra, 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 fobra.
So yeah, like 80 d6s of damage halved.
Yay! He might survive. Alright.
What did you get, Ilya?
15.
And what did you get, Jeff?
11.
Oof.
2 plus 9.
Oof. All right. So Clanky and Christine, what did you get?
21.
That's okay. I thought so. Clanky and Christine make it down very, very gracefully. Just they look like pro rock climbers. Kayana's a fucking mountain goat and is just like vertical scaling the cliffs and just getting down no problem. Clanky is able to find enough footholds and he's big enough that he just makes it down no problem at all. Ilya, you're having a pretty good time. You're shield surfing. And you're going,
Woo!
You're enjoying yourself as you're going down, and that is a great gift. Oh my god. I need a second. I'm sorry.
I have such a collection on hand.
My lord. I need to stop looking at it. Oh my god. Okay. All right, Ilya, you're having a grand old time shield surfing down the mountainside, and you're getting a couple tricks in there. You stumble every now and then, but like for the most part, it's a smooth ride. You make your way down. Jeff, you're not quite so graceful.
Naturally.
You make it. You do make it. but you're gonna take a bit of damage as you kind of fall over yourself a little bit.
Okay.
Hi, Jeff. Bye, Jeff.
I'm gonna say it's-
Yeah, is it bad, and do I notice it with enough warning to help?
Since they're going down and shield surfing and you guys are scaling, I'm gonna say it probably takes you on pretty different paths.
That's
Because not
fair.
quite like a split the party situation, but they're further than most of your spells will
Yeah.
reach. You could Eldritch Blast him, since I think you have like what 360-foot range on that or something.
Something like that. I forget. I have double what it is normally.
240 then. Okay.
Yeah, I can never remember if the ranges are on D&D Beyond include that.
All right, Jeff, you take a total of 23 bludgeoning damage.
Fine.
Ouch.
Just
That's
as like over time you just keep like falling over yourself a little bit, and it adds up. A bunch of little falls, and you're like really bruised when you finally get to the bottom.
I get to the bottom, just faceplant on the ground.
Yeah, but you do all make it.
Oh man, I'm not as good at that as I used to be. Maybe I'd do better if I wasn't heavy armor.
You might just be
Uh,
out of practice.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Heavy armor just make you go down faster, and that seems like ideal.
Maybe. Well, I'm just glad I made it down.
Yeah. You survived. Oh yeah, I'll get off of Cayenne now. Sorry.
Oh,
Thank you.
Warthog, where'd you get the goat?
Cayenne.
Oh, I got you. Right. Sorry.
Right. She can call up animals to help her. Where is Kayana, by the way? Listen, I just really like this idea of Jeff being oblivious to her ability to wild shape.
It's kind of great.
I mean,
we're all
Druid
down at
just
the
means
bottom.
she makes good berries, right?
Yes, we're down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll unshape myself.
Ah, yes, right. You can turn to animals. Sorry, I got that. I promise I remember.
Do you?
I'm just gonna step back to Jeff. She doesn't look convinced.
I will do better to remember next time.
Sure. That sounds fine.
I'm scared now.
Oh, you should be.
It's okay. You don't remember when it really, really turned out badly.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Oh yeah, he doesn't remember. Oh man.
You don't
Jeff.
remember. And I
Oh,
can't even yell at you about it.
I mean, you sort of can. That wasn't the eye's fault. If anything, the eye should have made it better because he could. I'm really not helping
But
Jeff.
it's
I'm
the
sorry. I'm
eye's
just gonna
fault
go back.
that he can't remember.
What can I remember?
Don't worry
you're an
about it,
idiot.
Jeff.
I'm not gonna beat the subject. I'm assuming I did something bad. I'm sorry.
Just
Fine.
remember if there's like a random animal that you don't recognize in the group, it's probably me.
Okay.
And I know what I'm doing.
There's like
Okay.
suddenly 3 or 4 just like regular goats around the group of you.
Are these all you? Did you do
I
this?
cussed them all away.
I slap Jeff and heal him for 2 HP.
Yay!
No!
I strangely feel a little better after that.
Good!
Good,
Meanwhile-
but also
meanwhile-
fuck you.
Meanwhile, Warthog is blowing goats around the snow.
Warthog, the goat herd, just kind of gets them to sort of meander off. One of them looks back and its eyes are gold, and then it turns around and disappears.
What?
Oh, I hate that.
Kaya, are you sure you didn't make that goat?
Yes, I'm sure.
Also, I don't think she
No
makes
one but
them.
Warthog saw it disappear.
Okay.
That's what I was about to ask.
Well, I suppose we should hit up the
Yeah.
dragon boards for the annulus, and we should be on our way.
Agreed. Let me know if anybody else sees a goat with glowing eye. Gold golden glowing eyes on our way out.
Oh,
It's
okay.
probably
Oh.
fine.
I'm gonna say with
Okay.
Kayana because that's what she
Yeah.
just told me. If you see random weird animals that can do magic, it's probably her.
No, wait.
No, Jeff,
Oh.
Jeffrey.
I'm here right now. If you,
Right.
oh my God,
Oh wait, was this go in addition to Kayana?
Yeah.
do you
Kayana
not
doesn't have
know how my
Oh.
ability
eyes.
works after all the time?
Oh.
I'm sorry, I hit my head a few times on the way down the mountain. I'm a little discombobulated.
That's the
But he
excuse.
knows the word discombobulated.
Yeah.
Did- Did you lose your object permanence?
Briefly.
Well, I'm sorry, my head hurts. I'm sorry.
Come on, let's get you back. Come on.
Looks away from party. Oh no, I'm all alone.
A goat peers out at you from behind an outcropping of rock.
I Eldritch Blast and pull him forward.
It doesn't have gold eyes. The goat dies.
What did you do, Warthog? Oh my god, what happened to the goat over there? There's blood everywhere.
It just exploded. There's like half a goat head and then like nothing else.
Oh my god! Warthog, what did you do?
My best.
Let's go.
Were you that desperate for something other than venison?
Alright, listen here. There might be a weird possessed goat walking around. I don't know.
Warthog, you hear a voice in your head go, "Jeez, man, it was just a prank."
It's just a prank, bro.
It's just a
Alright.
bro. Chill out.
Just mid-sentence, look up at the sky. Alright, listen here. That was pretty good. Alright, I'll give you that one. You win. Alright, but I will get you back. I'm gonna throw
also-
a rotting salad at you or something.
You hear the voice again. Oh, also, and your vision just goes white, and like
Huh.
you guys, you see Warthog like his eyes become like the ocean, like just immediately like they're filled with this depth and this roiling current.
Oh, pretty.
Warthog,
class.
you see
Yeah.
a caravan.
Is this a caravan I've seen before by chance?
It is.
Ah.
At the head is a woman in white robes, cowl pulled over her head so that you cannot see the features of her face. But you recognize nonetheless that robed garb and the followers that attend her. And you see among those followers Equilaria.
Is she in a cult?
She is the cold.
Oh, I was gonna say, is she part of the KKK?
They're
Should
not.
be
They're
wearing
not
that.
pointed hoods.
She'd be
Can-
wearing
can
that right
I-
robe.
Also, it's only Elena that has the cowl over her. The others are just
Only
robed.
only who now? Only who now?
I feel like I had said the name before, Elena. If I hadn't, that's fine. Actually, no. You do know that name.
it sounds familiar, but I can't place
It
it.
does sound familiar.
Jeremiah was looking for her.
Oh.
Dang it! Well, we failed
I
that
feel like
quest
this is a
line.
cult.
I think we
Yeah.
failed that quest line, unfortunately.
Everyone named Jeremiah is part of a cult.
All right.
Absolutely. The surroundings actually clue you in to a little bit of their whereabouts.
Are there
They're
some
digging
woods
up
by
a
chance?
body.
As you see this caravan moving along the road, not digging up any bodies on their way, it is relatively clear that there is a vast wood to you're kind of looking from the back of the caravan to their left, which is you're kind of looking about the scene you surmise to be to the east. And to the west, you can see a rather hilly area that seems to, you can actually kind of see the mouth of a cave, maybe 200 or 300 yards off. That kind of dips underneath of this hilly area. They are on a well-traveled road, but you don't see any other travelers or any settlements nearby.
Can I speak?
Yep.
So ambition, buddy.
Hmm.
So those woods over there.
Indigo.
I'm trying to point. I don't know if I'm actually pointing. Do I have a form right now, or is it just like vision?
Mostly just vision, but
Okay.
he can kind of still gauge what you're talking about.
Okay. Can I?
Yes.
Okay. The woods over there. That wouldn't by chance be like the Indigo Woods with it.
Indeed.
Ha. Can you by chance tell me where they're like the road where they're going? Where they're going? I mean, this is pretty darn good. This is a lot. But
Well, I
I'd be
can't
remiss
tell
to
you
not
what
ask.
their destination is on the road. I am not prescient. But
That's fair.
as far as where the road leads, I can do something to that effect.
That would be phenomenal.
At the southern end of the road, at least of the main road that they're on, is the capital, Tolaskir, of Dain.
Colt.
Okay.
However,
Okay.
the
That's
road
probably fine.
does branch, and there are many settlements along the way.
As most roads do. That's fair. Yeah.
So again, can't tell you where they're going, but
Yep,
they're on a road that
but-
connects Tolaskir with crap. What is that city? That is, of course, this map
Philadelphia.
is unlabeled. Where are you? World mapping. Settlements. Jeez. It's not one of those, is it? Give me a sec, guys. Sorry.
Oh no,
Good.
take your time.
I'm
Thank
getting valuable information here. Ambition, you take your time, buddy. You look at whatever you need to, man.
I promise you,
I
ambition does not take this long.
ain't going nowhere.
None of these
Ambition, you don't gotta lie to me.
things.
I know you're just doing this for effect. I know you already know the answer, and you're just trying to screw with me. And listen here, you're really good at it, buddy. That goat, I murdered that goat. I kind of feel a little bit bad about it, but man, I
kind of
really
funny,
thought
though.
there was a creepy sentient goat. Man, it was great.
It's pretty funny.
I'm gonna find a way to get back at you.
Oh,
It's
I
probably not a good
expect it.
idea, but I'm
No,
gonna.
no. I encourage it.
I don't know how you play a prank on a freaking on you though.
All right, I got nothing for the name of this place, so we're gonna make up a name for this place.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
hell yeah.
Oh gosh, it's Dain, so we get lots of fun etymology here. Blarg. That's good. That's good. I like that.
By the way, Ambition, why do you all always speak in riddles? I gotta ask.
Do I?
Well, I guess you don't as much. You're actually pretty straightforward. You're actually really straightforward.
Hmm.
But like some of the other like deities and stuff, have you noticed they all speak in riddles? Have you ever talked to any of them?
I think
Yeah, I
it
guess
comes
have like powwows and
with,
cookouts and stuff.
I think it comes with age. I also think that, at least at present,
Yeah.
some of the other gods might not know as much about what goes on in this world as I do.
I knew it.
Well, think about it. The other planes are separated from here. They have some knowledge they can go off of, some observations they can make, but
Yeah.
even the gods' connection to this place is tenuous at best. I live here.
Yeah.
Makes it a bit easier.
That's fair. Fair.
Awesome.
So you don't have powwows and cookouts?
Not lately.
Not weekly, is that what you said?
lately, but
Oh.
I like weekly too.
Not weekly.
That's-
It's more of
Either
a
way,
Yeah.
it's more of a monthly basis.
uh,
That's fair. That's fair.
oh, this is good.
oh
This is really
gosh.
good. Everything is pointing
So-
towards this one location.
I knew you'd like this, but it is a bit railroady for what I normally do. So
No,
I
this
mean,
is
we
good.
were planning to go there anyways.
Yeah.
I do want to empower you guys, though. Like, you don't have to go straight there. If there's other stuff you want to do, you
Yeah.
can.
I'm
Just-
sure we're gonna stop by a city or two
Yeah,
on our way.
like there will
but,
be
like,
stuff on the way, but this
we
is
haven't made
good.
things. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's like. Man, they're really just going down this road, aren't they? They're just
Yep, it's a long
not even
road.
really talking. They're just.
Well, I was
kinda,
hoping
I
that
guess
while we
they're
were
fine.
watching them, maybe they'd reach a destination.
Yeah.
But it seems not. So instead, I will just give you the name of the city that this road starts at, and it happens to be Merkenstow.
Fair. Yeah. No. I believe I've heard. I haven't heard of that place. Yeah.
It's Mercanstow.
Ah, got 2 letters wrong. Shame.
Merkenstow.
By the way, I've really been meaning to ask you, why did you want the rotted salad?
Wait, did you say why didn't he?
Why did he want the rotted salad?
Oh, mostly just interested in how time passed in that place. But unfortunately, once the salad had been out of there for a while, it wasn't quite
yeah.
as useful.
That's fair. Well, if you're curious, the
Ulvari.
the giant people with
The
tattoos
Ulvari.
and stuff. Those are the ones. They know. They kind of it's still aged, I believe, but it was like really slow, like really slow.
Yes. I
Yeah.
think.
So yeah.
I think
honestly,
that
if you
lines
want
up
something
with
that
what I would
aged, that's the best.
expect. Although it's still interesting.
It was pretty crazy.
Make a perception check, Wartok.
Man, they're really just going down. I got that one. They're really just going down that road.
Okay. You hear like a little, like you hear Ambition kind of murmur something, but you don't catch what he says.
Dang it.
Oh.
Wait, I do hear him murmur something though.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what was that?
Oh, I just was wondering how the Ulvari were able to create that sphere that protected them from not only the scouring but time. It's intriguing.
Yeah,
They're
we
powerful
learned
folk,
nothing
I
about how that
suppose.
happened. Say again.
They're powerful folk.
Yeah, they sure are. Their tower was super cool too.
Indeed. I should like to talk with one of them at some point.
One one's gonna be at our home, which happens to be on an island. Which I don't know if you know much about islands, but there's a lot of water around islands.
Don't know if you knew that, but
You do know that we... And then he kind of catches himself and stops, and... You do know that our first meeting was in Lake Villar. There are islands on that lake.
Yes.
Okay.
This island is also in a lake.
You said that you didn't know if I knew much about islands.
I mean, I just just
Small talk.
it's a
I see.
it's a common expression. It's a common expression.
Very well.
Yeah.
Anyway, Black Tentacles.
Yeah,
Proud
anyway.
of you.
Tentacle.
Peace.
They are so good. They're so cool.
He disappears.
They ate a man.
Well,
It was
he wasn't really ever there, but like your vision fades.
But
and
I
comes
pop back
to
in
normal.
as I'm
You're like,
saying they ate a man. It was what?
What?
Nothing.
What was happening?
Good? You're
Oh wait, no, I
By
have
the
to
way,
decide if I want to tell.
to y'all, it was like 30 seconds.
Okay. You okay? You just kind of.
You spaced out for a long time there.
Well, I mean, it wasn't that long. Your eyes looked really pretty, though.
Ilya leans in.
My eyes always.
You might want to lay off the substances for a little while.
No, it wasn't the substances.
Are you positive, though?
Oh, it was probably
Yeah,
his
I'm
god.
pretty sure. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Well, I'm really debating on whether or not I want to tell Kaina that the gods just don't know anything.
I mean, we were
It's not that they
speculating
don't know
about it.
anything.
No, you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Christine thinks you should, but
Yeah, no, I am. I'm just gonna look at Kaina. Yeah, that was him. He
Uh-huh.
confirmed. They speak in riddles because they're just kind of not sure always.
Oh.
Yeah.
That doesn't inspire confidence.
He doesn't speak in riddles. I know where my
Oh.
old friend is. Ish, sort of. I know like two towns. There's a road, and then there were woods over here, which were the Indigo Woods. So we should go there.
Oh.
We should probably go that direction.
Well, we were heading there anyway. What a coincidence. We should go.
There was a cave on that side.
Oh, we should totally check out that cool cave first.
I don't know if the cave has any.
Would-
Oh, hey.
they just kind of really passed it.
Would I have any like recollection of what cave he might possibly be speculating?
And there were hills up here.
So go ahead and make a history check.
Oh, that was good.
I need to make a
That
description.
was
check.
good. That is a dirty 20.
Okay. While you were with Solomon in the Indigo Wood, you did do quite a bit of exploration of the area. You did not explore every inch of the woods. What you did, I don't necessarily want to say discover, because it was kind of known about before to a small number of people, but what you kind of expanded on the knowledge of, there was almost a network of caves and tunnels around the Indigo Wood. Some of them were interconnected, some of them were separate, and they were only maybe 20 or 30% explored. And so as you're thinking through this, it seems likely that one of those cave networks, one of those underground repositories, might be what this dragon was talking about.
So there's a system of caves that runs underneath the woods. It's not very well explored. But there are several of them.
Like from gophers?
What? Not quite.
Like bigger.
Like really, really big gophers.
Well, like
chunky gophers.
If you saw it in a vision, then like you know the size that I'm talking about. Like
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm slightly distracted. I didn't really put two and two together. This tracks. Okay. Yeah. So a tunnel system.
yes.
Like all underneath the Indigo Woods?
Supposedly.
It doesn't span the whole forest, but it's expansive.
I mean, it's big. I don't
Maybe
know
like
if it's
a
under
third
the
of
whole
the forest
forest.
is what you've gathered, although it could be beyond that.
Yeah, it's just it hasn't really been explored all that well, so I couldn't tell you for certain.
Is it like made from a reason, or is it just sort of like, or do we not?
Is it a natural formation?
What was your history check result? Dirty 20?
Dirty 20.
Most of it seemed to be natural. Some of it seemed to have remnants of life, like settled life in them. Specifically, there was like one or two around very large, very old trees whose root systems kind of provided a little bit of like a natural walling, and also a little bit of natural light as the roof of the cave kind of caved in around the roots.
I mean, I don't think people have like lived in or used those caves for a very, very long time. Most of them inhabited, that I saw anyway.
Huh.
Ilya, your vision goes white.
Oh God. Jesus Christ.
Sorry, didn't mean to.
It wasn't that loud in my earphones. Yeah, like moments after the three of you see Warthog's eyes go like all stormy, Ilya just like you see her just kind of close her eyes, but you can see this like golden light streaming out from under them.
What's happening? Why is everyone's eyes getting weird?
Oh man, I need to lay off the substances.
Ilya,
Jeff, let her have this, Jeff.
Hey,
you see before you a tall, majestic figure with this, like, at first you think it's just armor, but it's like this glorious gold armor, but also golden skin. Like, his very flesh glows with a golden light. And this beautiful white hair kind of just bursts from a very well-kept kind of scalp, forehead. He lacks any facial hair, but it's also somewhat difficult to make out precise features. Like this,
Is this
so radiant that it's hard to really grasp exactly what he looks like.
Instead of the shadows censoring dick, it's just all glowing.
Yep.
is this Sky Daddy?
Hello.
Kind
Ilya.
of.
Hello?
That axe you bear. May I see it?
Sure.
He reaches his hand out, and it's not like close to you, but you proffer the axe, and it just immaterializes and rematerializes in his hand. Kind of grasps it, looks it up and down. This is the one. I gifted this to the first Aegis of that order. They were my first order in the world.
Your first order. Yours.
Yes.
Ilya takes a knee.
Arise, child.
Okay.
okay.
Okay. You know, I imagined a lot of things to happen on this Tuesday, but not this. Spoke with the dragon.
The axe has been well kept. I would venture to say you deserve this. You've done well in my service. I am proud of you. This axe symbolizes the office of Aegis. That office is currently held by another, but he does not hold the axe. You do. As such, I have a decree. You should return to the monastery on your path southward. And when you do, tell them that you are to found a new order under my name. You will be its lead. This axe will be the symbol of that leadership. Speak.
I don't know that I can. This is an incredible honor.
You've deserved it. I see what you do, the people you help, the valiance in your soul. You are worthy, my daughter, of this and of so much more. Now, prove me right. Spread the name of Torm in this world.
Yes, of course.
I leave the naming of the order up to you. Good luck. And the
Thank
vision
you.
fades.
Oh,
Um, when Ilya regains consciousness, you all see, like, Ilya, you didn't, like, summon the axe in person. You summoned it in the vision.
mm-hmm.
But they all see it appear in your hands as you come back to the real world.
Yo.
Everyone's having weird eyeball moments. I just want to make
Jeff,
sure we're
your
not all
vision
cursed.
goes...
No! Not again!
Where's my divine vision?
You're next. Fuck, man.
You guys okay?
So Ilya, you get talked to by a deity? Yeah.
Yes. This is new, I suppose.
New good? Good new?
Yes.
Yeah. What happened?
Like, I don't.
Did Matt freeze for you guys?
No, I've just been holding very still.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, he's just holding still.
I couldn't see any grain in the background either, which was why I was just like,
Sometimes you just like to pretend.
sorry, go on.
I've never had a direct conversation with him. It's. I suppose humbling, amongst other things. He wants me to start a new order.
Really?
Just start your own sect of religion?
What does that entail?
I'm not sure completely. I don't.
Cool.
He said I earned it, but I don't know that I have yet.
You have.
I guess just to keep spreading the virtues of Torm is what he wants me to do. But I would have done that anyways.
Well, good. That's probably why he chose you.
Some kind of puzzle or test or because if you would have been doing that anyway, but you've been called to make a new order, what's different?
Well, he said I was chosen because I have the axe. And that it was given to the first Aegis. So I don't know. I'm grateful, incredibly so, but
That's a lot.
it's a lot. It's a lot to just close your eyes and come back with.
Yeah, I wonder who's going next.
Wait, actually, no, I minor illusion my eyes.
Oh, again?
Nah, I'm just kidding.
A slight twinge of jealousy. Just
no.
very slight.
Oh. Oh.
Man.
No.
Well, I guess you got
Good. Congrats.
Thanks.
we got an island full
Big
of
deal.
people and a base that is in the midst of being constructed. Perhaps you can start there. Might find some willing followers to get started.
Should we maybe go there before we go to the Indigo Woods, or like
we should definitely stop by.
We
See how
should pop
things are
by and see
going.
how things are going. Yeah.
It's on the
Yeah.
way-ish.
Okay.
Okay, I have money again. We can
Well.
pay them. We always have mouths to
We
feed.
left them plenty.
We have mouths to feed now. We have to save our money.
We're collective parents.
What
Dang
we
it.
need to do is stop by a couple towns and recruit some more people.
Do you suppose the monks at the monastery at the base, I think they maybe have like, I don't know, rare oils or something?
Oh, that's not what I thought you were on.
I mean, possibly.
Okay. Cool.
Do you have any good
You know,
weed
also, while you
No,
mentioned,
that's not what I'm asking.
no, that's what I'm gonna be
this
asking.
time?
I have never asked anybody for weed.
Except Warthog.
No, I've offered it. That's different.
No, well, okay, maybe not weed, but you've definitely asked Warthog for LSD.
I mean,
That's shady.
I have asked for other things, just I haven't asked for weed.
Fair enough.
Just the things with the medicinal. You know, now that you mention it, Ilya, you're trying to start a new order? New order, yeah? What would
Yeah,
that,
I guess so.
how would what did they call them? The mountain folk? The mountain shields? Shield of the mountain? Shield of the mountain, right? Shield of the mountain.
Yes.
How would they react? Would they be for it?
I'm not entirely sure.
Make a
Because if-
insight check.
Oh no.
Oh,
7.
They'd be all for it, man.
Ah, shit.
hell yeah.
I mean, it came from the word of God, so what's
mean-
wrong with it?
Because of the axe they gave you.
Yeah,
Well-
I'd have to tell them I got a vision. But I just don't know that. I don't know that he's talked to anyone as closely like that before.
That's fair. So I'm just wondering if you need. I mean, you're trying to spread the word, yeah. Spread the good word.
Yeah.
So
I
I mean,
mean-
it'd probably be good if we could get some, some allies back at our base who can help
This is
spread
true.
that word.
Ilya,
And
you would have actually heard of the Candens Chirotheca, or the Gleaming Gauntlet, the head of your church. Very early after the Scouring, maybe 40 or 50 years SR, there was supposedly a vision revealed to the Gleaming Gauntlet from Torm about the church and its direction and how it should grow.
Oh, okay.
So there is one other instance, and it's
Yeah.
the Pope.
Yeah. And I'm just some random half-elf girl who was tossed aside into a monastery one day.
so was he probably. Before he's important. I mean, not that you're not important right now.
It doesn't matter what your origin is. It doesn't matter where you start.
Matters what you make of it.
Just seems very unlikely. Much like how a farm boy
Mm.
with a frozen sword could be picked to be the chosen one.
Oh, low blow.
Well,
Ooh,
if the gods only favor the nobility, then they're just part of a classist establishment, aren't they?
Okay, Edelgard. Calm down.
That's not what I was going for.
Still,
I
though,
see
yeah.
your point.
I mean,
I mean, it's not so much that I don't think people from lower or less
Where do we
fortunate upbringings are capable of
I
such
just
things. I
reminded
just
us
don't
of
think.
joke last night.
The what?
Oh, later. Sorry, keep going.
Okay. I just don't know that it's me.
It is. Clearly it is. You just got a vision. That wasn't the drugs. I haven't spiked anything of yours. I promise.
I should hope not.
Yeah,
No, he
exactly.
hasn't.
I haven't. Yeah. So like, clearly you had a vision, and this has happened before. You said, and
Once.
why not you? Clearly, gestures broadly at everything. You're wrapped up in something important.
It's
You
true.
have sway across the whole country now because of the whole, gestures broadly at everything. So why not you?
I suppose.
Both of you at once kind of hear something in your head. Wartok, you hear, you have a point. And Ilya, you hear, he has a point.
Oh, don't like that.
Hell yeah!
Like right on, but ooh. At any rate, we
Yeah.
should collect the annulus and head on, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should go on. We should go on.
Yeah, you see Phalanox, that like brass dragonborn, just kind of like looking at the group of you from about like 50 yards away outside of the.
You're cutting out
Yeah,
a
you
whole
cut out the
lot.
whole thing.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You see Phalanox, the brass dragonborn from before, kind of standing outside the exit to the cave, just kind of like looking over at the group of you, like, you guys gonna come over? Yeah.
Are they cool?
Oh, there they come. Okay, cool. Ah, I heard you. I heard you're supposed to get the annulus now.
Yes, that is what Tad said. He messaged you guys about it. He told us.
Yeah. So I suppose you made it up to the summit, huh?
Well,
Yeah.
more or
Okay.
less, yes.
Good going. Well, here you go. And the gold, silver, and copper dragon all come out, sort of three people bearing the annulus forward, presenting it to you, and Phalanox once again addresses you, saying, "Now, thank you. It seems like they might be taking action now, so we really appreciate that. Make sure you use this well. I don't know what's coming, but I think everyone right now, not just present company, but across the land, can feel that something dark is sweeping over the world."
Yeah.
We
That's
will,
right.
we will put the power of the artifacts to good use in making sure we can secure the best outcome possible for everyone.
Good. And Phalanox kind of looks over at the copper dragonborn, who is, if I don't remember incorrectly, so that was a weird way of saying if I remember correctly, is the one who said something rude to you, Kayana. Kind of looks at the copper one and says, "Kazek has something he'd like to say." And the copper dragonborn kind of like a little sheepishly steps forward, and he says, I'm sorry for what I said about you being separated from your home. I'm really sorry that that's the case, actually, and I said that because, well, none of us were born here. We were all taken from our homes, and it hurts sometimes. I was lashing out. It was wrong of me. I really do hope you find your way back.
You guys want a change of jobs? Because
Yeah.
No,
hey.
no.
we know a castle that's in the middle of being built.
It is fulfilling work we do here, and it's important. It's not as though I resent being brought here. Just sometimes it's hard thinking about what you left behind.
Yeah, it is. At least you guys have your entire lives that you've spent here in this new beginning.
Well,
I don't even have that.
don't you? I mean, look around you.
I have this, but I don't have a connection to my childhood.
I suppose we could if we went back home. It's easier for us than it is for you, although it's certainly not easy. But don't lose sight of the life you have now, for want of the old. You'll get back there if you're meant to. But these people standing around you, they're good folk.
Of course they are.
Y'all are gonna do some incredible stuff. I can feel it.
We already have.
Yeah.
We broke us.
Yeah. Hence the name. At any rate, I am sorry for what I said. Well,
Okay.
that's that was good, Kazak. Thank you. The annulus.
Oh, fuck.
I don't think we could trust it to better hands. So, Godspeed. Good luck.
Good luck
Jeff,
to you as well.
the silver dragonborn, Drusil, he kind of steps up to you and he kind of looks you in the eyes and he says, "My kin, it's it's rare that I get to see another dragonborn like myself. What's your I hope you don't mind my asking. What was your life like? What did you do before all of this?"
Truth be told, I was just a farm boy. I grew up on a small farm on the outskirts of the village of Helm's Fair in this country. My life was
Helm's Fair.
pretty simple.
My family's from Helm's Fair too, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh no.
Hmm.
What were your folks like? Who were your folks?
Uh, they were blacksmith and a cobbler. Hardworking folk. It was difficult for them when word came that I was supposed to be brought away. Difficult for me too. But I don't know. Somehow it helps. There's another one like me from Helm's Fair who's making something of themselves in the world. It's really good to hear. Maybe one day we'll find ourselves back there.
Indeed. It
Be
is
good to
good.
see
It is
home
good.
again.
It would. I haven't gotten word from what's been happening at home in a long time. I know there's the war going on and all.
Yeah.
Don't think they're in any immediate danger, but I hope everyone back home is safe.
Yeah.
Guess
Remember
that's why you and I.
did you ever have to deal with that? There was one guard at the. What a shithead. What was his name? Pierce, I think was his name. Did you ever have to deal with Pierce? Every single time
Yeah, I
anybody would
remember
come
that
through.
guy.
What a jerk. Every time somebody came through with supplies, it was, "Oh, where did you come from? And who made this? And is it up to quality?" And ah. Could never
Real,
get
real stick in
anything
the mud.
past him. Seriously. Well, don't become Pierce. And maybe we'll see each other back home someday.
I don't plan on becoming Pearson anytime soon.
No, I imagine not. Well,
See to it that you don't become Pierce either.
oh, Lord, no. Uh, well, good to meet you, Jeff.
Good to meet you too. You said your parents were the blacksmith and the cobbler, you said?
Yeah.
If I'm ever in Helm's Fair again, I will make sure to check on them and see how they're doing. I'll find some way to get word to you of it,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
of course.
Well, you've got the annulus. I'm sure you have more important things to do than stay around and chat with us all day. So, well, best of luck.
Best of luck to you too.
Thank you.
And it is just between us, it is reassuring to me to know that there are other people from back home in our tiny little village doing good work out there in the world. So you keep at it for all the folks back home too.
I appreciate that. I will.
Thank you.
I'll say a prayer for him.
Thank you.
Aw.
All right, I think that's a good place to end the session.
I'd say so.
Lit.
All right.
We probably get a long rest between now and getting back to the monastery, right?
Oh yeah, it's a 2-day travel, so you'll probably get one.
Can I
Okay.
actually attune to my axe now?
Yes.
I forgot to say it last time.
I think
It's a cool ass axe though, right?
Yeah.
Really, it's a really
do
good
the
act.
let's do the outro for that. All right, thank you everybody for watching BionDnD, and may all your rolls be lucky.